Hello, good evening. Welcome, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get our meeting started. We're going to call our meeting to order. 1.2 presentation of colors. The presentation of colors will be by the Cypress Elementary School California Cadet Corps. Awesome. Yes, led by Sergeant First Class Primitivo Avalos 302nd Battalion. So welcome. Awesome. And I'll go ahead and ask Mr. Barrios if he can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you so much again for that wonderful presentation of colors. All right, moving on to 1.4, approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mrs. Alexander. Vote, please. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Mr. Barrios?
Aye.
Miss Martinez Sosa?
Aye.
Mr. Hurtado?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. And before we actually move on with our agenda, I would just like to take a few minutes to say good evening and welcome to tonight's board meeting of the San Bernardino City Unified School District Board of Education. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment on behalf of the board to thank District Police Chief Joseph Polino for his many years of dedicated service to our schools and community. I know yesterday we had a whole celebration for you. So Chief Polino has led our district with honesty, courage, and a strong commitment to keeping our students and staff safe. Chief Polino also guided us through difficult moments with calm and steady leadership, always putting students first and doing what was right for our community. On behalf of the Board of Education, we thank you, Chief Polino, for your service and sacrifice. Chief, your impact will be felt for years to come. We're grateful for your leadership. We thank you for your service, and we wish you the best in the next chapter of your life. Thank you. And we have a little plaque for you. A little gift. Awesome. So now moving on to 2.0 annual organization meeting of San Bernardino City Unified School District Board of Education. 2.1 election of officers and assignment of other responsibilities. Informational. Sorry. All right, so 2.2 election of board president. Board nominations will be made for board president. Per board bylaw, the president shall not serve more than two consecutive one-year terms. President Ceballos has served 1 year. So I will take nominations. Ms. Grande?
Yes, I nominate Myra Ceballos for board president.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Grande and a second by Ms. Medina. Is there any discussion? Vote, please. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 2.3, election of board vice president. Board nominations will be made for board vice president. Per board bylaw, the vice president shall not serve more than two consecutive one-year terms. Vice President Aviles Grande has served 1 year. And can I take nominations at this time? I motion for Ms. Aviles Grande.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Ceballos motion, Dr. Wyatt second. Vote, please. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Motion carries. 2.4, appointment of secretary and board assistant secretary. Be it resolved, the Board of Education appoints Mauricio Arellano to serve as board secretary and Karen Cunningham as board assistant secretary for the ensuing year. Be it resolved, the board secretary and assistant secretary be authorized to certify or attest to actions taken by the Board of Education whenever such certifications or attestations is required for any purpose as prescribed by Ed Code Section 35250 and 35036. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mrs. Alexander. Vote, please. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 2.4, appointment of board, 2.5, thank you. Appointment of designated board representatives. The board president will make the following board member appointments to the board. The board will vote on all appointments as one action. Appointments to the County Committee on School District Organization. This committee has a major role in the review and approval of proposals to change school district organization in the county and consists of one board member. Mrs. Alexander is the current representative. Do we have someone of interest to this committee?
I know originally I was the one serving as your replacement. If nobody else is interested, I can continue. But I know representation does definitely matter. But if someone else is interested.
Mrs. Alexander, are you still interested in serving on that committee?
Doesn't expire, so I'm good.
So we will keep it that way. So Mrs. Alexander. And then we will keep Mrs. Medina, Karen, as alternative. Thank you. The board president appoints, let's see. Appoints to CSBA Delegate Assembly are for 2-year appointments for CSBA Delegate Assembly are for 2-year terms. The Delegate Assembly provides a vital link in CSBA's governance structure, providing policy direction and ensuring CSBA reflects the interests of school districts. Based on District ADA, the board is entitled to 2 delegates. Current delegates are Felicia, Mrs. Alexander, and Mrs. Rosales Medina. Mrs. Alexander's term does not end until March 31st, 2027. However, Mrs. Medina's term ends on March 31st, 2026. Therefore, 1 delegate is required for a 2-year term effective April 1st, 2026. So with that termination in March, do we seek somebody interested in the position if Ms. Rosales Medina is no longer interested? Ms. Medina, would you like to continue with that position for another 2 years?
After attending the last one, definitely representation does matter. So I would, but if somebody else is interested, I can definitely, hand it off to them.
Do we have any interest of anybody else? All right, so it looks like you got it, Ms. Medina. All right, the next one is appointment to the district's policy subcommittee. This subcommittee meets on an as needed basis to review new and updated board policies and consists of 3 board members and 1 alternate. Current board representatives are Ms. Medina, Ms. Ceballos, and Mrs. Alexander, and Ms. Grande as an alternate. So we will need 3. So I will open it up to any of the current 3 serving to see if there's interest in coming off, or they would still like to remain. And I see Mrs. Alexander, your light's on.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, I would like to remain on the policy committee.
Awesome. Ms. Medina?
I as well.
So I as well, but I will also open it up and ask if there is or are any board members interested in the committee. All right, so we'll keep it as is with the 3 and then Ms. Grande as alternate. The next one is District Budget Subcommittee. This subcommittee meets on an as-needed basis as well and consists of 3 board members and 1 alternate. Current board representatives are Mr. Tillman, Mrs. Alexander, and Mr. Santos, and Mrs. Rosales as an alternate. Again, I'll do the same for the 3 current board members that are serving, whether or not you're interested in continuing to serve and whether or not there is additional board members that are interested in that.
I'll stay.
I would like to stay as well.
I'd like to stay as well.
Oh, Mr. Santos, yes, you were on there. Did I call your name? Okay, sorry. Okay, so we'll keep as is as well, and Ms. Medina as the alternate. Next up is District Charter Schools Subcommittee. This subcommittee meets on an as-needed basis and consists of 3 board members and 1 alternate. Current board representatives are Ms. Ceballos, Ms. Grande, and Mrs. Alexander, and Ms. Medina as alternate. Again, I will open up to the current sitting members and any others interested. Ms. Alexander?
I'm willing to see if there's other board members that would be interested in being on that committee. So I will relinquish it if there's other board members that are interested.
And I as well, so I don't know if there is any interest from anybody else. Seeing none, you're serving as well as I am. So we have the 3, Karen, myself, Ms. Grande, Mrs. Alexander, and then Ms. Medina as alternate. So it remains the same. For the next one is District's Curriculum slash instruction subcommittee. This also meets on an as-needed basis and consists of also 3 board members, Ms. Ceballos, Ms. Grande, and there is currently a vacancy. Dr. Wyatt, you are the alternate. So do we have someone interested in filling that vacancy? Dr. Wyatt, would you like to move from alternate into that vacancy?
Madam President, if nobody is interested, I'll be more than happy to. Thank you.
Awesome. So I believe that there are your 3. The next one is District's IT Communications Subcommittee, and that one also meets as on an as-needed basis. Oh, I apologize. Yes, thank you. Facilities Subcommittee also meets on an as-needed basis. The 3 board members on there are Dr. Wyatt, Mrs. Medina, and Mrs. Grande, with Mr. Santos being an alternate. Ms. Grande?
I'd like to remain on that one if it's okay with you.
Yeah. Do we have any, the other 2 members, are you interested in remaining?
Yes, I'd like to continue serving.
I would as well, Madam President.
All right, so we'll keep it as is as well. Yes, with Mr. Santos as an alternate to that one. Yeah, thank you. Next is IT Communications Subcommittee. This also meets on an as-needed basis. The 3 board members on here are Mr. Tillman, Ms. Grande, and Ms. Ceballos, with Mrs. Alexander being the alternate.
Continue.
Okay, same here. Are you okay being the alternate still, Mrs. Alexander? So that will remain the same as well. And then the last one is the Education Bridge Committee. This committee was formed by the San Bernardino City. Yes, sorry, the City of San Bernardino, and currently does not meet. However, Dr. Wyatt, Ms. Medina, and Ms. Grande, and Mrs. Alexander as an alternate. Do I have Ms. Grande?
It currently does not meet, but I have been in contact with Judy Penman to the Chamber of Commerce, and the intent is certainly there this year. So I think that's going to be a very interesting committee to serve on. So I'd like to continue.
Awesome. Ms. Medina and Dr. Wyatt?
Yes, I can definitely serve.
Madam President, I will as well. And my understanding is that way we were supposed to actually meet with city council members. And so, I mean, I'm hopeful. I will continue to say that and look forward to meeting with them this year.
Well, I think we're all hopeful, so please let us know. So it'll remain the same with Mrs. Alexander, alternative. All right, so be it resolved, the Board of Education approves all appointments. Can I get a motion?
I'll move. Good.
Moved by Dr. White, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please. Oh, Miss Medina. Sorry. You're going to have to jump in if I don't call your name. 3.0 Annual Meeting of the San Bernardino Schools Financial Corporation Board of Directors. 3.1 Recess as the SBCUS Board of Education. As required by the San Bernardino Schools Financing Corporation bylaws, the Board of Directors of the corporation shall have an annual meeting for the purpose of organization, selection of officers, and transaction of any other business. According to the bylaws, annual meetings shall be held immediately following the first organizational meeting of the year for the San Bernardino City Unified School District Board of Education. It is appropriate at this time to recess as the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District and convene as the Board of Directors of the San Bernardino Schools Financing Corporation. 3.1. All directors are present. I apologize, 3.0. So this meeting is now called to order. 3.3, directors, all directors are present. 3.4, designation and election of officers. I will ask for nominations for the corporation's president and vice president. The following appointments will be taken as one action. We already have both president and vice president. So I will ask at this time for a motion.
Well, we have to formally, you do have to
Oh,
make a motion for the president of this body. So I'll move that Ms. Ceballos be president.
Second.
I'll second.
those are together with board president and vice president, right? So can I get a motion for vice president as well?
Mariana Grande be vice president.
Second.
Did you get the motions, Karen? Did you get the first motion and second? Dr. Wyatt. Thank you. So be it resolved that Myra Ceballos be elected as the corporation's president. Be it also resolved that Ms. Mary Ellen Aviles Grande be elected as the corporation's vice president. Be it also resolved that Mr. Mauricio Arellano be appointed as the corporation's secretary/treasurer. Be it further resolved that Ms. Karen Cunningham be appointed as the corporation's assistant secretary. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Motion carries. So the meeting of the San Marino Schools Financing Corporation is now closed, and we now reconvene as the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District. And at this time, we will go on and move to 4.0 public comments. 4.1 receive public comments. This is the only time the public will have an opportunity to address the board on items not on the agenda and within their subject matter jurisdiction, such as district policies, procedures, programs, services, or fiscal matters. The board must operate under the Brown Act open meeting regulations, which prevents boards from commenting on items not on the agenda to ensure transparency and public participation in government decision-making. The reason is simple. The board wants to make sure that anyone who has an opinion on an item knows via our posted agenda when we will be discussing it as a board. During public comments, the board can ask clarifying questions, but cannot discuss, answer questions, or ask questions on a topic that is not agendized. We're certainly happy that you are here to let us know your concerns. Please know that we're listening to your voice and your input is valued. If a follow-up is required on your comment, a staff member will reach out to you. Please make sure your email or phone number is provided on your comment form so that they may contact you. Public comments are limited to 5 minutes per person. 6 or more people who wish to speak on one topic will be provided no more than 30 minutes total. Speakers are cautioned that under California law, no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments regarding any person simply because these comments are made at a public meeting. So up first, we have our SBTA president, Ms. Barbara Pasachek-Cox. Welcome.
Good evening, President Ceballos, Vice President Aviles Grande, Mr. Arellano, and esteemed members of the board and cabinet. My name is Barbara Pasachek-Cox, and I proudly serve as the president for the San Bernardino Teachers Association, representing more than 3,000 educators and growing, those who show up each day with heart, grit, and unwavering belief in the power of public education. We come together this evening with one voice, in solidarity with our bargaining team. to reaffirm our commitment to a shared vision, one where educators are respected, classrooms are resourced, and every student has the chance to thrive. The work of an educator is not just a job, it's a life's work, a quiet heroism. It's planting seeds of knowledge and hope, even on the hardest of days. It is the calm in the chaos, the spark in the silence, and the steady hand and open heart in classrooms that carry the weight of so much more than just curriculum. To teach today is to shoulder more than ever before, more needs, more pressures, more expectations, and yet our educators rise again and again. And let's be clear, fair compensation is not just about numbers on a page. It's about honoring and respecting the profession. When we advocate, we're not only speaking for ourselves, we're speaking for the students, families, and communities who depend on us. Our educators, our classrooms, and our students all deserve the very best in support, in resources, and yes, in wages. Our negotiations team met with the district's team and submitted a proposal. As we prepare to meet again this Thursday, we remain hopeful that the district will come to the table with clear direction, shared purpose, and the urgency this moment requires. Because good collaboration is not measured by meetings, but by movement. And the time for that movement is now. We believe in partnership, we believe in progress, but more than anything, we believe that respect must live in decisions, not just declarations, but in how swiftly and meaningful we move towards solutions. And as we look ahead to brighter days, and yes, to brighter outcomes for our schools, we also pause to honor this season of light and reflection. Whether celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, or Kwanzaa, this is a time to recommit what unites us: community, compassion, and the shared hope for a better tomorrow. Let that spirit guide us. Let it move us forward together. Thank you, and may all of you have a safe, joyful, and restorative holiday. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Ms. Christina Marquez. Welcome.
Good evening, Board, Cabinet, President, and Superintendent Arellano. My name is Christina M. Marquez, and I'm a fifth grade teacher at Fairfax Elementary School and also a San Bernardino Teachers Association site rep. I'm here at the end of the year to say my thank yous and to the community with which my school has been very involved with, as well as my class. I want to thank my partner teacher, Jamie Kellum, because we worked together to coordinate our trip up to science camp this year of our 2 fifth grade classes. I'd like to thank Mrs. Elena Marsh and Santa Claus Inc. and the Boy Scouts for their donations and sweaters, jackets, hats, gloves, and Mrs. Marsh volunteering to go up to chaperone at camp, as well as Mr. Gaona, our RSP teacher. A big thank you to Eddie Garcia and ThinkWise Credit Union for their donation of headphones to my class. Again, thank you to Mr. Rafael Trujillo for donating boots for the students going to science camp, and he also donated turkeys for 4 families for Thanksgiving this year. Next, I would like to thank my alma mater, Aquinas High School, for coordinating and organizing a food drive for the families of Fairfax Elementary School. Aquinas and Fairfax both have falcons as their mascot, and having been an alumni there, we have constantly had the outreach where we work together to pass out additional foods for our families. Finally, I would like to thank the unsung heroes, our rec aides, Rosemary Riojas, Tamnisha Cole, Stephanie Ramirez, because they are the ones who organized and they bagged all the foods so that we could pass them out to our families. And it was quite an ordeal to do that because there were pallets after pallets and bags after bags of food that had to be put together bagged, and then we passed them out to the families. Finally, to Chief Paulino, just so you know, I have 2 former students who have gone into law enforcement. One of them is a dispatcher with San Bernardino Police Department, and I have a newly sworn-in officer of the Anchorage Sheriff's Department. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you, and all have a happy holidays.
Thank you. Next up, we have student board members. Welcome.
Hello, Board of Education, Board President, Vice President, and Superintendent Ariano. My name is Aiden Hurtado, and I'm a student board member representing Sierra and San Andreas. And on behalf of all of us, we want to extend our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for the annual CSBA trip that we were able to attend. And we're really grateful for the opportunity to grow as leaders and meet other leaders from around the state, as well as learn how we can impact our community better and how we can bring change as student board members.
I personally would like to add on to that. I would like to thank Board President Ceballos and Mrs. Alexander for coming and having breakfast and dinner with us. Even though we couldn't be able to have the experience with everybody, also Mr. Tillman for giving us a funny experience. As one of our student board members thought we noticed Mr. Tillman in a room, and we walked into the room, and then we're like, "Oh, it's Mr. Tillman in here," and they're like, "No, but you guys can come in and join us." So we got to be able to have a funny experience without actually Mr. Tillman being there, but it was just about him. So thank you all for letting us come do this.
His reach and impact is far-reaching.
Hello, I'm Maria Martinez, and I also had the amazing opportunity to go visit Sacramento at the event, and it was a really nice event. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like I got to meet a lot of people, got to see how all the schools do it, because I feel like I wanted to say how grateful I am for our district having so much support on us, because a lot of them, they didn't have like what's it called, people guiding them. They were on their own, and over here, like I realized how privileged we are and how many more opportunities we have compared to a lot of the districts, and that put a nice perspective on it. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Carlos Barrios, and I also shared the privilege to attend the conference. And I think it was honestly, like, I've been to a few conferences. That was definitely one of my favorites. Just being able to talk with different student board members throughout the state and understand what their concerns are and how they approach certain issues at their campuses, I think really helped me as a leader. Being able to look at those and being like, how can we add this into our school district? I'd also like to thank James Ramos for letting us into the Capitol. It was definitely great being able to be there.
Awesome.
Also, before we close off, I did want to say I had an amazing experience, because I think that experience, it really like let our guard down, all our student board members, and I got to really see like their personalities instead of like being so professional and, you know, like having someone to impress. Like, it was just a nice experience to get to know who they are as people, and it just bonded us together as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all that you do and the commitment and time commitment. I know that this is not the only thing that you all do on your very, very busy schedule. So thank you so much for being here tonight and for the commitment that you put into your roles and the work that you do. Up next, we have Mrs. Elizabeth Ramirez. Welcome. Can you press the button on the microphone so we can hear you?
Hello, I want to thank everybody here on the board, the educational board. I've never spoke, so I'm very nervous. But I'm here with a concern. I am a grandmother of 3 students who was attending Serrano Middle School. My grandchildren came to Serrano because I read about the cadet, the sports, the education that they offered, and I was very excited to have my grandchildren be a part of Serrano Middle School. But as we attended, immediately one of my grandchildren started being bullied. He also was cyberbullied, and we were then threatened, and we brought all this to the school staff, and they assured me that my grandchild would be safe. He was not safe. It was a whole year of bullying, assaults, and nothing was ever done. He was never safe, including me and my family. When we would pick up my grandson, the students would come, staff was nowhere to help us. Even though we were saying, look, you need to be here for my grandson. He is here in your school and you're to protect him. And not once did he feel protected. He would cry. I would cry to send him there, not knowing if he's going to be assaulted. One time, he was assaulted so badly that he got a head concussion. I reported that. The mother reported that. The father reported that. We gave numerous names, numerous details of all the incidents. Not one staff ever gave any assurance that I would see with my eyes or hear with my ears that it would come to a stop. To this day, it continues. We were there. Even staff was very rude to me and my family. They would not listen. They assured they were doing everything in their hands to protect my first grandson. Then I had 2 more grandchildren to come in. After that, I was scared because these children are in my home now, and I have to protect them, and I couldn't even protect the one that was there as a grandmother. Now I have 3, and now 3 grandchildren are being bullied and didn't want to go to school. They would say, I don't feel good, always making an excuse, but yet they're straight A students. They're athletes. They were a part of everything that Serrano offered. I tried to do my best to volunteer. Maybe they'll like my kids. Maybe my kids will be safer. Maybe they will keep an eye on them. But no, it was all wrong. Not once have they protected them. So this last time, after going to the hospital, after being bullied, after being threatened that my home was going to be shot by the students and nothing being done, we finally said, you know what? We would pray every day. Let me go back to that. We would pray every day. But the last time, my grandson was assaulted, and there was nobody there to protect him. He had no other means but to protect himself from the cyberbullying, from the photos, from being attacked and being hit again in the head. He protected himself, and now the staff is fabricating against my grandson, that is a straight A student, an athlete, and trying to ruin his educational rights. He was taken out of school. He was being told he would not return to school for approximately maybe 2 years for something that he didn't do but to defend himself. And staff continue to lie on him. And now I'm just saying here as a grandparent that Serrano needs to be held accountable for all the bullying, because the bullying has not stopped. I have 5 kids that I can name, but I won't because I'm not the parent. I'm just here for my grandkids. We have now removed ourselves from Serrano Middle School. We are now attending Shandon Hills Middle School. And let me tell you, my grandchildren are thriving. They're still A students. The staff there is so amazing, so loving, so respectful. My grandsons were part of the championship softball team. They were part of that. My granddaughter is now in the cheer. My grandchildren, all 3 of them, are in the cadet corps, and they are first class battalions. And we are thriving. Me as a grandmother, I take pride in being a part of a champion school, and I have even offered my service to be a volunteer because I've always volunteered for all the outings just so that I can keep an eye on my grandchildren. And Shandon Hills has shown me that they're going to protect my children, and I just want everyone to know they are the best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out and sharing that information with us. And that is the conclusion of our public comments. Moving on to 5.0 public hearing, 5.1 acceptance and adoption of the MOU, updated job descriptions between the California School Employees Association, Chapter 183, and the San Bernardino City Unified School District. Can I get a motion? Oh yeah, sorry. So acceptance and adoption of the MOU. Public hearing will be held to consider the adoption of the Memorandum of Understanding between the California School Employees Association, Chapter 183, and the San Bernardino City Unified School District. On October 8th, 2025, the district and CSEA agreed to the Memorandum of Understanding for the updated job descriptions, Computer Specialist 3 and Informational Technology IT Services Control Technician. On December 1st, 2025, CSEA ratified the proposed Memorandum of Understanding to the Collective Bargaining Agreement. It is appropriate at this time to conduct a public hearing. Are there any comment forms?
There are not.
Okay. At this time, can I get a motion?
I'll move.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mr. Tillman. Any discussion? Okay, vote please, Ms. Medina.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts and adopts the Memorandum of Understanding for the updated job description of Computer Specialist 3, Information Technology IT Services Control Technician between SBCUSD and CSEA, Chapter 183. Moving on to 6.0, closed session, 6.1, closed session public comments. And I believe we have one, and is Mr. Gustavo de Santiago. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm here to speak on behalf of my son for the public hearing. My son, it will be in continuance of what my mother-in-law was speaking about with Serrano Middle School. Dr. Rodriguez and Dr. Doizan and Nancy Pick are aware of the situation at hand, and so is PYD. My son was able to prove all the negative comments and things that they were trying to place on my son during the meetings that we had, and he has always thrived regardless of all the bullying that happened and the assaults that happened. And I want to thank the staff members that were there to help us, which are some of the members that are here, and 2 of the police officers that actually were able to, get some of the situations under control. Officer Starks, and also Sergeant Arias. They did a really good job in seeing my son for who he actually was, not just off of a judgment call, which is what Serrano did. And now after transferring them out to Shannon Hills, they're still thriving, regardless of, missing out in school for a month and a half. My son transferred all his stuff out. My niece and nephews transferred everything out. They're still striving. They have good grades. The 2 boys went to softball. They won championships. My son, the one in this case, was able to get to participate in the county honor band last minute. only had a week to practice and made the auditions, which from what I'm hearing from his teacher, he is the only one that will be representing San Bernardino School Unified District at the County Honor Band this year. And he looks forward to a wonderful, wonderful rest of the year at Shannon Hills. With that being said, I do want to address the campus where they came from. Some concerns with the staff. A lot of things weren't handled appropriately as they should have been. I had brought these concerns up to the staff there, the principal, the vice principal. They said they were doing everything they could. I would turn in so much evidence through them in emails, and this is stuff that I even turned into PYD, and PYD got to see all that. They took my son's side because my son was able to prove the school wrong. And yeah, I mean, they were after my son. He's a straight A student, had no priors before this. Been in honor band for the past 4 years, wasn't a troublemaker. He's not a troublemaker, and he's not going to be a troublemaker by God's grace. He will continue to succeed. I just need that school to be addressed, the staff. And my concern to them was they needed more cameras on that school, because I know that the staff wouldn't be acting the way they do if they were being held accountable. I got a walkthrough of Shannon Hills, which is the exact same replica of Serrano, and they have cameras all over that school. And that staff there is wonderful. We had multiple meetings with, before Dr. Torizan was Dr. Funches. He addressed the school. Mr. Lopez addressed the school. And I remember my son telling me when he would come home, the school is always rude to me, the staff is always rude to me. But the days that Dr. Funches and Mr. Lopez would step foot on that school campus, everybody was being nice to me. All the staff was being nice to me. And as soon as they left, they were back to being the grouchy people they were, the mean people they were to him. So at this point, I'm glad, in a way, somehow this turned out to go good in his favor. Now he's in a place where he is being successful and thriving, and they don't just see him, they don't judge him by the way he looks, but they see him for who he actually is. They took the chance and the time to get to know him for who he is. And he is the happiest I have ever seen him out of his middle school life. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out and sharing with us. Do we have any other closed session comments? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move to 6.2 closed session. We will now adjourn to closed session. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. We are coming back from closed session. Moving on to 7.0, action reported from closed session. 7.1. All right, 7.2, approval of revised job description, affirmative action officer. The affirmative action officer coordinates the district's affirmative action program, investigates and processes discrimination complaints, assists employees and applicants with complaints, problems, and concerns about district policies and procedures, prepares reports and forms required by the other government agencies, and coordinates and monitors compliance with Title IX, provides technical training related to equal opportunity and affirmative action matters to district staff. Can I get a motion?
I'll move. Second.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mr. Santos. Vote, please.
Aye. Abigail Medina.
Thank you. Motion carries. 7.3, approval of revised job description for Assistant Affirmative Action Officer. Can I get a motion for that?
Second.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please, Ms. Medina.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 7.4, expulsion of students. Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts and adopts the recommendation and findings of hearing panel based on a review of the panel's findings of facts and recommendations, and orders the expulsion of the following students with the identification numbers as listed below in accordance with Ed Code, with board rules and regulations, and in compliance with Ed Code Section 48900.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please, Ms. Medina.
Aye.
Motion carries. 7.5, student recommendation for expulsion, excluding mandatory offenses, but remanded to youth court for other means of correction. Be it resolved that Board of Education accepts and adopts recommendation and findings of facts of positive youth development, orders the suspension or expulsion of the following student with identification numbers as listed below and in accordance with board rules and regulations and in compliance with Ed Code 48900.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Alexander, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please, Ms. Medina.
Aye.
Motion carries. 7.6, lift readmit of expulsion of student.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Santos, second by Mr. Tillman. No, moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please, Ms. Medina.
Aye.
Motion carries. 7.7, petition to expunge, rescind, sealing of records, or modify youth court or expulsion. Can I get a motion?
Move. Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mrs. Alexander. Vote, please, Ms. Medina.
Sorry, I don't know if it went through. Aye.
No, thank you.
Mrs. Alexander?
Motion carries. 7.8, other closed session action. Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts the notice of recommendation for disciplinary action and statement of charges to dismiss the following classified employee from his or her employment with the district HR-class-25-26-02ER.
Move.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Mrs. Alexander, second by Ms. Tillman. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Motion carries. 8.0 student board members, 8.1 reports and comments, and I'll go ahead and start with Mr. Barrios.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlos Barrios, and I'm the student representative for Cajon High School. And I'll also be sharing a little bit about San Gorgonio High School. I want to start off by thanking the board for giving us the opportunity to attend the trip to Sacramento. It was really meaningful and eye-opening as an experience. Being able to hear from student leaders across the state and learn leadership ideas that we can bring back to our district has helped me personally better understand what it means to lead and advocate for others. Recently, we also attended Santa's Inc., where students were able to work hands-on with families by providing clothing, toys, and books to help make sure every child gets a great holiday experience this year. And at Cajon High School, we recently hosted our Jingle Ball Jam, where families came down after school. They enjoyed festive treats, played games, and learned more about our clubs and school resources. At our most recent House of Representatives meetings, where students from every class came together, we talked about ways that we as students can help support ELD students, encourage our peers to get into class on time, and discuss the ideas of adding a house system to improve student engagement. I also want to share that with the support of the district and school administration, Cajon has been approved for a space on campus called the Safe Closet, where students will have access to free clothing, hygiene supplies, and school items. With the school's clubs, administrators, and I will be starting it once we return from break. And at San G High School, students across campus recently participated in a Spirit Week as we head into break. Students are currently studying for finals and supporting each other through the last weeks of this hard semester. San G sports have also been doing very well and continue to be a strong part of the school's culture. Thank you guys all.
Thank you. Up next, Ms. Martinez Sosa.
Good evening. My name is Ademi Martinez. I am a junior attending as well as representing Indian Springs High School. Now, I wanted to take a moment to thank our teachers as well as our students for working endlessly throughout this whole semester, because I feel like they don't get nearly the amount of recognition they deserve. With the year of 2025 coming to a close, I would like teachers to know how much they make an impact on students. They are who create and shape adolescent generation through various skills, not just academically, but emotionally. They are oftentimes here to support you and act as a mentor. Students have shown nothing but pure dedication to get their grades to an admirable standing through any struggles life may throw at you. But I'm nothing but grateful to have these wonderful people to be the face of our district. To begin, at Indian Springs High School, we had our winter-themed SpongeBob rally, where ASB students worked hard to create games, posters, and plan this rally, creating wonderful memories for many. Our school also had a musical showcase to display the efforts of our commercial music pathway, funded by VAPA. We also had socks, sweaters, and sandals drive, run by our Key Club to provide patients from the AMC hospital with the things they needed. Next, Pacific is having a winter family festival. This event will have many of the clubs show up, such as biology, medicine, BSU, and other clubs that will be selling holiday treats, such as snowman soups, holiday stockings filled with toys, candies, and the event is huge, consisting of an entire gym and our quad accompanied with the music and games. Then, at Arroyo Valley High School, in sports section, I'll give you an overview of what happened. We had a wrap on the unforgettable fall sports season. We started the winter sports as well as having the media day to get all the team pictures and to begin dominating the season. Water polo had their first home league game last Tuesday and truly showed the sportsmanship in a way of starting their league season strong. The boys soccer team and the girls basketball team all started their league season as well. We truly gave thanks to all the incredible athletes who earned all their league honors. Their dedication, hard work, and talent would shine brightly. They dedicate some of these athletes every month. We showcased our athletes of the month. We also gave a huge congratulations to Elena Sanchez, achieving all CIF Southern Section recognition. This is the highest honor they can give to each division. She truly showed incredible talent and hard work to surpass this. Moving on from school, I actually wanted to come together to honor Catalina Rose by spreading some holiday cheer. So we were focusing on receiving any time blanket for all ages, toddlers to teenagers. We are here to have our first annual blanket drive held by Loma Linda's Children's Hospital for the Pediatric ICU. We held an orchestra winter concert on December 9th, 2025 to bring excitement for the holidays and support our talented students. We also had a snowed-in lunch rally to see many performers, games, holiday cheer, and a hot chocolate for everyone in the week strong. At our Slack meeting, we took the Clifton Strengths Finder quiz to determine what personal leadership style by showing our top 5 options. Then each group worked on student voice poster for their schools in order to gather more insight. We also talked about community service opportunities at the, and I don't want to say this wrong, but Tsuchi Act. Thank you all so much for your time. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have Mr. Hurtado.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aiden Hurtado. I'm a junior over at Cajon High School, but I have the honor of representing both Sierra High School and San Andreas. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to both our Board of Education as well as all the staff members that made it possible for not only me, but all the student board members to go to the annual CSBA trip. It gave me the chance to better understand how decisions are made at the state level and allowed me to connect with various leaders around the state and learn about the change that they were able to make in their own communities. I hope to bring this knowledge back and utilize it to help build up our community. I am incredibly thankful for the trust that was placed within me and for the opportunity to grow as a leader through that experience. I want to begin by highlighting Sierra High School, where student leadership and service have been essential, especially visible over the past month. One standout example is the Olive Branch, a student-supported program that continues to serve as a lifeline for both students and families in our community. Just within the last few weeks, the Olive Branch hosted its holiday giveaway extravaganza, a family-centered event that provided free gifts for children, family essentials, and household goods, ensuring families could experience stability and warmth during this holiday season. What makes this event especially meaningful is that it's not just a service being offered to students, but one that students actively support and sustain. In addition to this, recent donations from the Family and Kids Foundation have allowed the Olive Branch to distribute essential items such as full-size beds, microwaves, and other household necessities, directly benefiting the Sierra students and community members as a whole. These efforts reflect a campus culture where students are encouraged to lead with empathy, take initiative, and make tangible impacts beyond the classroom. At San Andreas, students' engagement continues to thrive through hands-on, student-centered activities. San Andreas remains a campus that empowers students to rebuild their confidence and momentum through real-world application. Their pathway programs incentivize responsibility, collaboration, and ownership, allowing students to actively participate in their own success while gaining skills that translate directly into their future careers. What stands out most about San Andreas is how the students are trusted to learn through experience, trusted to learn from their challenges, and trusted to contribute meaningfully to their campus and community. This approach continues to strengthen the relationship between students and education, creating an environment rooted in support and opportunity. Together, Sierra and San Andreas demonstrate what is possible when schools prioritize programs that provide holistic support and community connections. These campuses show what students are able to do once we put the power in their hands. I'd also like to talk about Middle College High School. First, I'd like to congratulate them on the fact that their mock trial team has recently been placed within the top 10 within their league. The mock trial program allows for students to assume the roles of real-life attorneys and witnesses as they go through a simulated court trial. Students are judged by real-life attorneys as well as judges and are given the understanding about the current judicial system while also gaining experience in public speaking and viewing the career of what it means to be a lawyer. Middle College will also be hosting a talent show this Wednesday, celebrating creativity and student expression.
Students in the Digital Media Arts program are currently testing for their Adobe Photoshop and Premiere Pro certifications, gaining industry-recognized credentials while still in high school. The student culture continues to be strengthened through activities such as door decoration contests, and today students participated in the Avid Write-Off, reinforcing college-level writing skills and academic confidence. Our Student Leadership Advisory Council is running strong, allowing students to learn about opportunities around San Bernardino while also making an impact in their own way. Before I end, I'd like to address all the students going through their final season. I know it's a stressful time, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we hope that Santa slips an A under all of our trees tonight. Thank you for this time this evening, and thank you for continuing to let me support the schools that I have the honor to represent. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Great job to all of you for your wonderful reports. We're going to go ahead and move on to 9.0, Administrative Reports and Presentations, 9.1, Comprehensive CAS Presentation, and I will be passing it on to Mrs. Applegate, Assistant Sub of Educational Services, to go ahead and introduce to us her staff.
Oh. Different view from up here. Thank you, Board President Ceballos, Vice President Abeles Grande, Board, our Superintendent, Mr. Arellano, Cabinet, and our viewing audience. I'm honored to be in front of you again today. We're going to be talking a little bit about our scores and our data story. And when I say data story, I want to go back to the beginning. So I was here about 3 years ago, and it was right after COVID. And I know that we haven't talked much about COVID because it seems like a whole lifetime ago. But it was only 3 short years ago where our students began testing again through state testing. So it really hasn't been that long. But I'm very proud to say that I think you will be pleased with some of the gains that we've made post-COVID, because we saw how the scores had dropped. But I would be remiss to say, Board, thank you for your unwavering dedication and for your trust in me and in our team to be able to do the work that we do. I also want to let you know that our superintendent is our biggest advocate. So he's constantly supporting us and really helping us and making sure that we're doing what we need to do. So as we get started, I also would be remiss not to thank our school site leaders, our teachers. You heard from them today, and I'm very proud of all of our teachers because it really has been hard work. All of us have been working very hard. And you can see I have the team here, so I'm very proud to have them. They have my back, I guess, physically too, right? And so I just wanted to go ahead and get started by saying that, yes, it was a bit of a tough time back in 2020, 2021, coming back from COVID. Our scores had dropped significantly. But now, when you look at some of our key outcomes, we've gone from that to actually surpassing the state in several metrics. So I'm very proud to say that graduation is one of them. So you're going to see that we've had very strong progress in multiple indicators. So there are several different metrics where we're doing well. We know we have a ways to go, but we are doing quite well in some of them. You'll see that the strong gains we've had in college and career, which also stand out. And our suspension rate has gone down. And I know that Dr. Rodriguez and her team have done a fantastic job. And I'll talk a little bit more about the division support as well. But together, we've been able to make a big difference in many areas. You'll also see that we have gradual, consistent growth. So you'll have a 3-year comparison so you can see pretty much where we were post-COVID and where we are now. And you'll see at least a 5% gain overall, which is pretty good. But we know that also statistically we need to get better. And so we have that in the back of our minds and we're working on that. But there's also another really nice area that we've gained with our English Learner Project for our long-term English learners. In secondary, it's been phenomenal. That's another metric that surpassed the state. So that's also a very bright spot. And I'll talk to that a little bit later as well. You see ELA and math, we've also had some growth there and we're continuing to move up and it's consistent and it's getting bigger. So we know that continuing on that same journey is what we need to do. And then we also realize that there are some areas that we still need to grow in and we're working very hard on that. And one of those is our chronic absenteeism as well as many other districts. And I know again, Dr. Rodriguez, Dr. Vicandova, they're working hard to recoup some of that as well. Next slide. Thank you. So Board, as you know, we are held to the California School Dashboard metrics, and the metrics there have 3 different indicators. One of them is the academic engagement indicators. So under that, you see chronic absenteeism and our grad rate. And then under the conditions and climate indicator is our suspension rate. And then you're very familiar with the academic performance indicators, in which we have ELA, math, or English learner progress, and college and career. And you could see there at the bottom, I know you are also familiar with the half wheel and the different colors. And so we're striving to be at least in the yellow, but always working to be in the green and in the blue as well. Those are the higher proficiency color indicators. And I'm proud to say again, this year, for the second year in a row, we don't have any one particular group in the overall red or orange color. So we're looking at yellow and above overall for our district. So that's exciting. And with that, I'll hand it over to Dr. Cleveland, and she'll give a little more explanation on the technicalities on how we get there.
All right, well, good evening, board. I'm very excited to be back here to talk you through our California School Dashboard results for 2025. What you see displayed on the screen is what they call a 5x5 chart. And this is how the colors are determined for each of the metrics in the 3 areas that Mrs. Applegate just spoke about. The 5x5 chart and these colors recognize both the proficiency and or rate that we're measuring alongside growth. And so for English language arts, for math, most of our academic indicators, we're looking for increased progress, whether that's in proficiency or an increased rate, for example, graduation. For the metrics of suspension and chronic absenteeism, we're looking for a decreased rate by chronic absenteeism, as in that is going down, as in suspensions are going down. And so California looks at both of those ways to measure our schools, and they give each of our districts and each of the schools within the district an area from red to blue, and they measure it by these 5x5s. Now, there is a different 5x5 for every single one of these metrics, and I'm happy to provide that for you at the end of today if you want to do some additional research. And I'm happy to answer questions as we move through the presentation. In order to get the color and look at growth, each of the metrics is measured from the current year against the previous year. So we're looking at the 2025 dashboard, and so that's going to take the progress that we made in 2024 and measure it against where we landed in 2025. And that's what we're going to look at this evening. So what you see before us is our dashboard. If you go on the California School Dashboard website, this is what will show for our district. As Mrs. Applegate mentioned, we have no areas that are showing in red, and that is the second year for our district, which is a huge celebration. So you will see that we landed in orange for chronic absenteeism, for suspension rate green, for English learner progress we moved into yellow, for graduation rate we are in green, college and career we are in green, and English language arts and mathematics we remain in yellow. And we will speak more about those, but I do want to say that remaining in yellow is a huge celebration. Once you reach the area of yellow on the dashboard, that says that you are both maintaining and growing in that metric area. And it is significantly hard once you're in yellow to stay in yellow. It does take continued growth. And so that is a huge celebration for our district, that we made yellow in both of those academic areas last year, and we've continued to stay there, making significant progress towards green. The other pieces that you see up there are foundational metrics that the state looks at, and we've met all of those foundational metrics. So we are going to start in that first area of academic engagement indicators, and that is our chronic absenteeism rate and our graduation rate. So for chronic absenteeism, what you see before you is the 3-year trend on the dashboard. You can see that we were yellow in 2023 and 2024. We did move to orange. And this is an example of what I was just speaking about. We still decreased, but we did not decrease at a rate that the state said was enough in order to remain in yellow. And so we slipped into orange. And so we do know, and Dr. Bikendova and Dr. Rodriguez are working very steadily with targeted supports with our sites, working in the area of chronic absenteeism. For our 14 major student groups, you see those displayed. A majority of those student groups do appear for us right now in red and orange. And so that is where the targeted supports are happening across our school sites. And that's being led out of the Positive Youth Development Department. The state measures chronic absenteeism K through 8. And so that is what you see before you. You can look at what we look like as a district in an elementary school. It is a celebration that over a 3-year period, we do see significant declines in our chronic absenteeism. We just need to continue to provide those supports because we do have to continue to see declines fall across all of our schools. And by program, you can see that we're also declining across most of our programs. And by race ethnicity. This is what it looks like across our local and similar districts. We will look at our local and similar districts for comparison for all of these metrics. I want to remind the board that we do continue to research and study all of the districts that we show you on this slide. These are the districts that are similar to us, both in size and demographic. And you can see that we are at the far end of that comparison. And we know that we've got a lot of work to do in this area. The second metric in this area is graduation rate. This is a very significant celebration for us. As you can see up there, from 2023 through 2025, we have made significant increases in our graduation rate. We were in yellow when they first started assigning the rainbow of colors in 2023, and we've moved into green, and we will likely stay there. We do typically trend above the state average for graduation rate. You can see for our student groups, a majority of our student groups do appear in green, and our 2 or more races student group appears in blue. And here you can see by program, an overall increase over the last 3 years of 3.2%. You can see our English learners have had some significant growth in this area, and our students with disabilities. And here's by race and ethnicity. Still seeing very significant, strong upward trends for graduation. And we are right in the middle when we look at our local and similar districts. Two things that I would call out here is if you look at the county rate and the state rate, we are significantly higher than both. A supporting metric to our graduation rate is our A to G. I know Dr. Venkatesan was here a couple of board meetings ago sharing about a number of programs and systems that are supporting this work. In coordination with our partners in Swiss, we have done an enormous amount of work around A to G systems, and you can see that represented in the data here. We have had a nearly 8% increase in 4 years for our A to G. And we see that across the board for our programs, our race, and our race ethnicity groups. And when we look at local and similar districts, you can see where we sit. Right, that brings us to the end of that first set of data. So I want to stop here. And if you have any questions for chronic absenteeism or suspension rate, we are happy to take those questions before we move into the next section.
Thank you, Mrs. Alexander.
Sure. Thank you so far for the report. I had a question, and I believe you addressed it, but I'm not sure. With the graduation rate, is there a breakdown for the number of students that graduated that achieved the A through G?
Yes, so that is going to be.
Because I see the percentage breakdown, but I'm not sure. How does that equate to the students that graduated?
So the A to G rate is taken out of that same cohort. And so when the ends that are on the screen for this percentage for A to G, that is the number of students out of that graduating class.
Thank you.
I don't think we have any more questions. You can continue.
All right, so conditions and climate, this indicator has one metric, and that is suspension rate. And that is how the state measures climate and culture. And so as you can see, we were in orange in 2023. In 2024, we moved into yellow, and we are now in green as of 2025. That was a 0.9% reduction from last year to this current year. And that is where most of our student groups sit for suspension, in the yellow and the green. You can see by school level. Each of our school levels are either maintaining where they're at or they are reducing, which is what has allowed us to sit in green. And by program, you can see all of the green arrows showing a reduction across all of our programs. And by race, ethnicity. You can see where we are at as compared to local and similar districts. Right, we are going to move into the academic performance indicators. And as Mrs. Applegate shared at the very beginning, this is going to cover a majority of what we're really familiar with. ELA, math, English learner progress, and our college and career metric. So we are going to start with English language arts. We show multi-year growth here as well. In 2023, we were in orange when we first started re-reporting the colors on the dashboard, and we have now moved into yellow, and we maintained yellow. This is consistent with a pattern of growth that we continue to see in English language arts, not only in the CASP data, but in our local assessment data as well. You can see for our 14 student groups, a majority of our student groups are in yellow, moving into green. And these next set of slides are going to show you what we look like for proficiency, because that is an important piece of how the dashboard is actually calculated. And so you can see that we've had a 4.3% increase in students meeting or exceeding grade level standards for English language arts across the district. And you can see the additional increases reflected at the different levels from elementary through high school. And by program, by race, ethnicity, And here's our comparison to our local and similar districts. And for math, I don't know if any of you have heard, but we are in the midst of a math revolution here at San Bernardino City Unified. We tell our principals that every single month during our ALI, but we are definitely seeing the payoff from really focusing in on math instruction. You can see in 2023, we were in orange. We did move into yellow, and we maintained yellow in the area of math for this year, which is a significant celebration for our teachers and our school sites. You can see where our student groups are at. A majority of them do sit in that orange area, and so we are continuing to provide targeted supports. Mrs. Applegate's going to talk about that as we get towards the end of this presentation. But this is an area of focus. It is part of our math revolution, and this is where a lot of time and energy for both our educators and our leaders is really happening this year. This is what proficiency looks like. We have had about a 3.3% increase over the 3 years, and that is what has allowed us to maintain yellow on the dashboard. It's small but sustained, and that's important. And by program, and by race ethnicity. And this is what it looks like local and similar. I think you'll see that math is a pain point for the state of California. If you look at the state of California average, it sits at 37.3, so they are quite a ways away from being at 50%. And if you look at a lot of the local and similar districts, we're all clustered around the same percent proficient area. And so this is an area of focus statewide. All right, and I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Applegate. She's going to take us through the English learner progress.
Dr. Cleveland. And so what you see here is our progress for our English learners, which is based on the LPAC exam. And so this is their progress indicator. As you can see, we were in the yellow, dipped a little to the orange, and then came back to the yellow. So they've been making some significant growth. Next one, please. And you can see, again, I mentioned our long-term English learners and the growth that they've made. So they're in the green, and that's considerable. And we used to have many, many more long-term English learners. As you'll see, it was close to over 4,000, and I think it's down to 1,900. So that's a significant reduction. So great work being done there. So as you can see, we took a little dip from the first year of testing to the second year. That's when we had the DOJ here, and they kind of shook us up a little bit. We implemented many different things. We were pulling out teachers for training, so there was a lot going on. But they got their footing, a little bit of a flat line, but I think we're starting to go up now, as you can see. Go ahead and go to the next one. And this is a bright spot for us because at our proficiency level, we're right there at the very top with other districts. So we're doing quite well overall in our proficiency. We just need to grow a little bit more to show more significant gain. And then here is really highlighting our long-term English learners and the gains that they've made. So significant there as well. And this is one where I teasingly told our superintendent, because Compton is who we're looking at. And so I told him on this one, we were ahead of Compton. So I was proud of that. So our great job there with our long-term English learners.
All right, probably one of the brightest spots in the dashboard for us is this area of college and career. This is a metric that can be met in multiple different ways. And so in 2023, they just started publishing this metric, and we were at medium. We moved into green in 2024, and then we remained in green this year, 2025, and we had an increase this year alone of 7.6% of our students being college and career prepared, according to the state of California. As you can look and see where a majority of our student groups are in yellow and green here. And by program, you can see the significant increases over 3 years. This is a testament to the work that our counselors and our principals and our teachers have been doing out at the school sites to really work on systems, ensure that kids are being able to be designated college and career ready as they leave us in 12th grade. By race, ethnicity. And our local and similar districts. We are going to pause there for this section to see if there's any questions that you have about any of the data sets that we've gone through.
Abigail, do you have any questions? I can't see you.
This, oh yeah, great information. So no question.
Okay, and Mrs. Alexander.
I just had a question just from a understanding point of view. How do you measure college and career? How do you measure that?
So there is a set of different ways that students can qualify. The number one way that a majority of our students qualify is by being A to G ready.
Okay.
There's other metrics that are part of that, and then there's a combination also of the different metrics that can also qualify you. I'm happy to provide you guys with a list in the next Friday update. But a majority of our kids qualify as college and career by becoming A to G ready, and you can see that correlation between the A to G data that we shared and what we're seeing in college and career.
Okay, thank you. I'd be curious to see what those metrics are, and then also, do you take into consideration the certifications that they receive as well? Does that feed into it, or is that separate?
So there are pieces of that also allow them to qualify in coordination with an additional metric. But
Okay.
yes, there's multiple combinations.
All right, thank you.
Things like grad rate, dual enrollment. So there are several different components to it. So we'll be glad to bring that to you.
All right.
Okay, so that's the technical part of the presentation, board. So I was very proud with the team to bring these results. We know the arrows are going up, but we also know that it's slow, steady progress, but it's progress. And so we know what we need to do to continue on that journey that I was talking about. So we've been very strategic. One of the things that we've done, I think quite well actually, next slide please, is to really work with our different divisions. So we also stand on the backs of our business services, our human resources, and our student services division. Whenever we needed to hire a position, I remember Dr. Funches and now Dr. Doizan, they had the personnel for us, and we couldn't do all of this without all the people that we've hired and the additional supports that you'll hear about in a minute. Business services, Terry, I'm always coming out with my hand out and saying, can you please help us? That's why I get nervous when we have discussions about cuts, but I know we will do it strategically. But business services has always been very supportive. And then, of course, student services. I'd be here a lot of the night talking about the ways that they support us, because they do quite a bit to support all the work in our ed services. And then, of course, the different departments within ed services. We learned right away, if we're not going to burn out our school sites and our principals, we need to collaborate within departments. I can't have 4 or 5 different departments out at the schools at different times, because our principals are starting to say, we love your support, but that's a lot. So our team has been fantastic in really working together and having their program specialists go out to schools together, tag teaming, and making sure that they're providing the support without really overwhelming our schools, because it's a fine line. So I thank them for that type of collaboration. It's been very important. The next slide, I know we've talked a lot about the multi-tiered system of support. And 3 years ago, I think I was here telling you that that's the approach that we needed to take, to make sure that we had these 3 tiers so that we wouldn't drop any of our students, so that we would catch everybody despite where they were, we could push them on. So I have highlighted here some of the main impactful strategies and approaches in different tiers. So in tier 1, I think one of the things that we're very, very proud of, and this came out of, you know, they always say that you need to take advantage of a tragedy or some kind of a, bad situation. And for us during COVID, we had to switch and we had to turn this huge district into online learning. But a good thing that came out of that is the scope and sequences were already developed. And so we put those things on steroids. And so these scope and sequences are fantastic frameworks for our teachers on what to teach, how to teach it, all the resources available. So using those has been really pivotal and instrumental for our teachers to teach at the grade level and making sure they're covering the most impactful standards. We also are very proud of having our multi-tiered system of support coordinators at every single school site. That's a point person that really looks at data and makes decisions along with the site staff on where students will be receiving intervention or if they need acceleration. So this is a full-time person that their job is to really look at data and make sure that our students are getting what they need. And then Dr. Coker and her team have been fantastic, providing every single school has 2 extra teachers that provide small group instruction in reading and in math. And that has been huge. We're seeing in our early literacy data that students are starting to excel, and you're going to see some big gains in reading because of this program. So I'm very proud of Dr. Coker and her team. And they provide some very specialized professional development. These are not your regular guest teachers or sub-teachers. These teachers are trained weekly with Dr. Coker in some instances on impactful reading strategies, science of reading, the 6-step phonics, very specific ways on how to teach reading. So they've done a great job there. In our tier 2, every single one of our schools just about has a learning center. So this is an area where, again, we have very highly trained staff that pull out groups of students during a universal access time so they're not missing core instruction. And they're getting some very impactful skill-based instruction in a smaller group setting with different curriculum to really make sure that they get the basics. And we also have the same type of thing at the secondary level, but it's support classes. So these people either push into the classes or they have small groups of kids that have support classes in reading and math. And then in tier 3, again, very specialized instruction there with individual education plans, also making sure we have intensive support classes with just a couple of kids and push in, push out supports. And then when it comes to our educators and our administrators, we really pride ourselves. San Bernardino, and I hear this from many districts around the area, that you guys really provide professional development like I've never seen. They actually know that we're dedicated and we are devoted to, I wanted to make sure we said we have a devotion now with math, making sure that we increase those scores. So we're really excited about that. In tier 1, our Administrative Leadership Institute has really revamped the way we do our principal meetings. This is really high intensity instructional teaching, helping them to become instructional leaders. And it's very, very focused on exactly what do the kids need to know. How do we know that they know it? What do we do if they don't know it? So very specific questions that they ask during their professional learning communities. And so we've also made sure that during those professional learning communities, those MOU Mondays are used very strategically. So I've got to say that this last year, our principals have been very good about using those MOU board, which you helped us to bargain for, in a really high impactful way where they're really focusing on instruction and what their kids really need. And I got to hand it to Dr. Cleveland's team, AET. They've been fantastic in teaching our site leaders and our teachers how to look at data and not just look at it, but what to do about it. So to be actionable on that data and not just looking at it and perusing, right? So they've made some great decisions based on that data. Then we also have, again, I mentioned that we have these extra teachers that are helping our students as well. In tier 2, we do that as well. With literacy coaching, we have coaches that come in and coach our principals on those early literacy strategies. As we mentioned, the science of reading. And then our English learners also have gotten specialized coaching from our multilingual programs department and supported our teachers. One thing I think, Board, that you actually gave us this idea and really have been supportive in identifying those focus schools. I remember, Board, you talking about, well, how can we identify the lowest schools and figure out what we can do differently with them? And so we took that advice, and I'm proud to say that I believe 9 out of 10 of our focus schools have shown gains, and significant gains. They've actually shown higher gains than the district average. So that is huge. So we have really allocated additional funding and supports for those focus schools, and it's showing that it's working. Next slide, please. So on top of all that, Board, we also have, as you know, Through your leadership, we have our targeted instructional improvement policy. You've heard quite a bit about that for African American students. And we really put our money where our mouth is. We've invested in strategic budget allocations for Dr. Greer, who is here in his department, making sure that our students get the support that they need. Equity counselors have been a huge hit, both for our African American students and our ELs. They have smaller caseloads. They're really focused. They know the students by name. They know how many credits they need for credit recovery. They know if they're involved in dual enrollment. So this has also been a very high impactful strategy that we've implemented that has really helped our student achievement. Dr. Greer has also embarked on the gap closing professional development. We have really done that district-wide and is now required for all of our new teachers, and that's a very impactful professional development that we as cabinet have also gone through, as well as our directors. With our English learners, you saw, board, when our multilingual program department came to present to you, you saw the very strategic way that they're showing teachers the items on the LPAC, because LPAC traditionally is not given by the classroom teachers unless it's the whole group setting. So our classroom teachers were not as familiar with the LPAC as they should be. And again, AET has done a fantastic team in really helping to train the testing coordinators. But you saw when they presented the video on how their program specialists are teaching our teachers what those items look like and making sure that our kids are exposed to those items and they're not seeing it for the first time when they take the test. I know Mr. Costa and Mr. Ojeda have provided LPAC boot camps, making sure that schools have extra funding and materials to help students with that as well. And then Dr. Coker and her team have been leading this California Literacy Grant that we got through the state. I believe now we're close to, looks like 35 schools that have extra literacy coaches and extra funding for resources and materials as well. And the state also implemented an early risk screening tool. So now we're getting really, really good at identifying students that need extra reading help very early on. We don't wait till third grade. We're looking at it in kinder, in first grade. Are they getting those basic skills as they go, so that we're not looking in third grade and then realizing there's this huge gap. So that's been very helpful as well. And then I have mentioned AET several times because I'm very proud of their team and what they've done with professional development in our principal institutes. Our principals and our teachers are getting really, really good at knowing testing items, the level that the students need to know those items at, exactly how they're being tested on the computer. So this isn't a guessing game for our kids. We're giving them the best advantage that we can possibly give them by exposing them to this. And one of the things that came out of that, and I know our superintendent challenged our principals, when we were looking at the writing targets, the genres, exactly what they're asking the kids to do when they have to do a writing sample, we realized that several kids were going down the wrong path and getting zeros. And that was affecting us pretty impactfully, right? So we've talked to principals, and AET has really talked to them about, this is the basics. This is what you need to look like. This is what this genre needs to look like. This is how it will be tested, and looking at samples, anchor papers. And so we've challenged, I know our superintendent has challenged our principals, no zeros, because we're shooting ourselves in the foot if we're allowing our kids to get zeros. And there's certain ways that we can change that. And then we've also implemented the interim assessments. Those assessments mirror the CASP. And so now there's 2 that are mandatory that teachers do. So they're practicing also giving that test and being familiar with that. So we have that as well. And again, I'd be here a long time talking about student services, but I wanted to give a shout out for a lot of what they're doing because it's really helping us. And Dr. Cleveland mentioned the counselor support. So in collaboration with Dr. Venkatesan in secondary education, you heard about our early instant admit program and how many more hundreds of kids, if not a couple more thousand of kids, are going to college. And so we're very proud of that and all the work that's been done there. PBIS and restorative practices. So you saw how the suspension rate has gone down. If kids are here and they're not getting expelled and they're not getting suspended, they're here, they're learning. So obviously that helps us as well. And it's provided some consistency in our district to lower those rates. I can't say enough about EXL. I love that team. I mean, those guys are just really helping us with extending the academic day. I think you know that EXL is not the CAPS of old. This is CAPS of old on steroids. These guys are super energetic, and they do quite a bit for all of our schools. They provide a lot of funding. They provide the after-school programs with a lot of the apps that we use for instruction, and they've really been a lot of help to us. Can't say enough about Dr. Gutierrez and her parent workshops and doing all the things that she does so that our parents understand our math adoption. We have a new math adoption. As I said, we're kind of really high on math right now. So she's doing workshops for parents, like trying to tell them, this is a new math instruction. This is what it looks like. This is how you can help your child at home. So she's been a big help. On top of all that, board, if that wasn't enough, I'm extremely proud of Dr. Clyde and his team, because while we're trying to make sure that our student achievement increases, we've also been innovative in the way that we've approached STEAM and AI. So we know that by incorporating STEAM into the curriculum, we're engaging our students more, and we're also increasing our test scores because they're more engaged and they're learning at higher levels. So very proud of that. We do have 2 C-STEM cohorts. I know our superintendent really brought that to light to us, and we're happy about that because we're finding newer and more innovative ways of teaching math. Interventions are becoming more interesting with robotics and with coding and those types of things, so kids really like that, so we're happy about that. I think we have close to 80 teachers, was it? 72 teachers in our second cohort who have gone through this program, which is quite rigorous. It's not just a hit and miss, so very proud of them there. And then we now have, I know I wrote that here somewhere, we now have 33 schools, 22 elementary schools and 11 middle schools with full STEAM labs and a full-time release person to be in those labs working with our kids with STEAM lessons. And you heard from Dr. Clyde how he's also incorporated STEAM into the regular curriculum so that all of our kids have access to that. And then we are working with AET, with Dr. Clyde, and you heard a little bit about AI and how we're embedding those instructional tools for our students. And now we want to do more for our educators as well so that we can try to help them make their jobs easier. As you know, AI is a great way now for being more productive and more efficient. And of course, our teachers can benefit from that as well. So you'll be hearing more about that. So as you can see, it's been a long journey from where we were. And it's hard to believe that it was just a few years ago, just a couple of years ago. It seems like a lifetime ago, but I'm very proud of this team. And I want to shout out to anybody that's listening. Our school sites have been amazing. Our site leaders have been dedicated, hardworking, and I can't say enough about our teachers and our parents. Our teachers have really, really stepped up and done some hard work, because as you can see, this is quite a bit. So I just want to thank you for your continuing support and helping us to do our job and trusting us to do our job. So that's very important. You allow us to shine. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you. So we'll open up to questions or comments. Mr. Tillman?
I want to commend you on the report and congratulate you on the numbers going in the right direction. If they weren't, we'd be having, a lot of negative discussion and concern. So I want to give credit where credit is due. I know the numbers are increasing incrementally, but I know it takes a lot of work to get them going in that direction. So when I see those numbers going up, that means that those individual students are becoming much more successful. So I want to commend your whole team on doing a great job in all the different areas. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Grande?
Wow, I just want to say thank you. It's like getting a golden bell. So thank you all for all your work and your vision and your I don't know, your intensity of purpose. I think that's the word I want to say. And I do have like a real quick question. I'm sure you have an answer. Is now how I look at AI now as the new science of reading versus Vyatsky kind of thing. It's only now it's a little bit different conversation. Are we looking at how we're going to be using that? I mean, it's like cell phones. It's here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. So, moving into even in university level, professors right now are split. My daughter's going to college. She has one that expects them to use it and encourages, another one that will give you 10 points off or to 0. So if someone's never seen an abstract before and they go to ChatGPT to see what an abstract looks like, they could get dinged for it. So how are we going to be handling that and preparing that for the next step in that?
Thank you. Thank you for your question. And yes, it's not going away, and we don't necessarily want it to go away. But I think we have to be good stewards in teaching our students how to use it in a responsible manner. And I just went to a conference where there was a lot of discussion around that, and that's where it starts. And we had that discussion. We had Dr. Cleveland and Dr. Clyde led a tech committee. They discussed how we would be incorporating AI. So we've incorporated some tools for our kids, but we also want to make sure that we're teaching them how to be good prompters, making sure that they understand what they're asking for and asking the right questions, using it in an ethical way. We have board policy around it now, and AR, I believe, as well. So we need to work a little bit more with our teachers. I've already talked to Dr. Cleveland about specific professional development on AI, like exactly what is it? How do you use it? What's a good way that you can start incorporating that in your classroom? aside from the tools, but also helping our teachers be more effective with AI. Because the tools are one thing. They're resources, they're tools. But we also want to make sure that our teachers understand how to use it to make their lives more efficient and more effective. Because you're right, there's so much out there that they can use that will be good for them for their instruction.
Thank you, Mrs. Alexander.
I would also like to say thank you for a comprehensive report and the intentionality of just how you reviewed the systems and also addressed how you're working with not only the students in certain areas, but also with the gap training. That's definitely significant, and just the overall holistic review that you provided us. I have one question related to chronic absenteeism. What systems are we looking at to address that? Because it seems like there's certain areas that's not improving.
So there's quite a few things that we do to improve our chronic absenteeism. Of course, interventions, making sure that our basic needs for students are met, especially with some of our most neediest students, such as our homeless and foster youth. So we have our our Atlas program. This specifically does home visits, also has kind of a wraparound service for some of those students who have that type of need. We're also going through a process at this particular time in investing in an AI attendance response where we are able to correct absences within 15 to 20 minutes. So we will be able to alert parents around if their student is absent so that we can correct that chronic absenteeism. So let's say they're not at school in the morning, well, they'll be in school within the hour. And so we've gotten a lot of great responses with that when we tried it out last semester, at the end of the school year last year. So that will be coming very soon within the next couple of months as we are going through the RFP process. And so we do anticipate there being a nice change there. In addition to that, our Saturday school programs are becoming more robust, as well as banking time for our EXL program. So every hour that students are within or taking part of EXL, that we're able to bank that time. So when a student is absent, we're able to substitute the time they stayed in CAPS to compensate for an absence. In addition to that, we are adding more robust systems for our independent study program. So that way students who are out, it's not as cumbersome for teachers and for schools in order to apply and engage in an independent study type of program. Students are able to stay in a short-term independent study program for less than 14 days. Anything more than that is a long-term situation. And so our specialized program teams have been working with all of our school sites to train them on how to utilize that as a strategy.
Thank you. With our success, where we've seen improvement, how are we celebrating that?
Well, we'll probably talk with our principals and make sure that they get some kudos, and our teachers as well, and our team. I mean, I'm glad you're here and you're hearing from your board that they're pleased with your work, but I think we need to do a little bit more to celebrate. You're right. We're cautiously celebrating because we love that we're going up, as Mr. Tillman said. What we would like to see a little bit bigger jumps, but that's okay. I'll hopefully they'll have a good holiday. I don't want to stress people out right now.
No, I know. I didn't mean something stressful, but
no.
All wins
I understand.
Are good wins, right?
We will.
So.
That's right. Yes, we will. Well, actually, we are having our division holiday party tomorrow, so we'll celebrate there.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman.
Only because Ms. Abeles Grande brought it up. You know, I have a real concern about AI. Because the same AI that you ask to write a paper, you could ask them, do you like me? Am I a good person? And to me, that's real scary. And I don't know how we make a disclaimer or inform parents about the dangers, about how do you ensure that a student knows it's a computer? So if it tells you a bad thing or a mean thing, or when they do these TikTok challenges where they create this question to ask your AI just to purposely get them to say something really mean and negative about you. And if you're mentally unstable and are going through just normal things that students go through, to me, it's very dangerous. So because it's so new and developing so fast, I don't know what the answers are, but I definitely think we ought to put a disclaimer out every time we steer a student to using it. We need to make sure we say that, be real specific about it, and the disclaimer out there about the bad things that exist too, because it's not totally good.
Right, and so you make a great point, and that's one of the things that they talked about at this conference, is that it needs to be transparent, and teachers really need to have these conversations and contracts with their students. Like, this is when you can use it. Specifically, when we're writing and you're doing this part of the planning of writing, you may use AI as a tool, as a resource. And this is another time you can use it during math when you're doing. So they have contracts with students, which I thought was very cool, because I know I sent you one, and you already have some, that where teachers have these conversations with their students to tell them, this is a tool, and what you put in is what you get out. That's why we need to make you responsible prompters, asking the right questions. If you get caught, using it inappropriately, your privileges get suspended. And so there have to be consequences. There has to be some kind of a way. And I know we'll be talking with Dr. Gutierrez as well to make sure that our parents are getting the workshops on AI so they can see it, the proper use as a tool, and monitor that as well. But you're right, and it's the same issue when we had internet. I remember when we first started using internet, it was kind of like, oh my God, they can get out there and see whatever. So we'll have to put guardrails around it. I know you're working with IT as well, with Cecil Wright in IT, to have some guardrails around that. But a lot of that is really teachers setting them up for success in their classroom. And that's the PD that we're going to be embarking on to help teachers to set that up in a responsible way.
Thank you.
Did you want to comment? Just really quickly, just again, thank you. I'm very pleased with the trend that we're seeing, and the path that we're going. So thank you. A lot of work still ahead of us, but again, really pleased and proud of all the work that has been put into it, because it's showing. Just to kind of go back off as I look at the dashboard, chronic absenteeism was the lowest on here. Do we have like a root cause analysis of why, what's going on? And I heard you talk about strategies and things that are going to be you're going to be continuing to implement, Dr. Rodriguez, but I'm just kind of curious as to if we have data to kind of identify like what is going on, and maybe there's different things at different school sites. Like, do we have that level of information on it?
So at this time, we do have information about why kids are absent, but within the system that we currently have in Aries, we're not able to triangulate information on that, because we have to export it to another data warehouse and kind of massage it there. Our desire and goal with implementing this new AI platform, and AI meaning that it will, it's intuitive in being able to respond. If, let's say, the parent says, my kid is sick today, it will automatically provide a response saying, please provide the doctor's note. So that way, it's that kind of AI. Once we have more information with that, because we'll be able to call more parents, we'll be able to get a larger pool of people to find out why they're not coming to school. Then at that point, the system will allow us to find trends and patterns. So while we do have information, we don't have the volume and we don't have the capacity to be able to analyze it. We do know that there are causes. As we look at our parent complaints, we do see that there are some bullying concerns and safety concerns that do come up pretty regularly, as well as chronic health conditions. But to kind of drill down specifically, not at this time.
Okay, thank you for sharing that and for the honesty around that, because as you know, it'll be a very, very different approach if it's a bully situation at a school site that's having, a culture, climate, difficulty, opposed to another school site where you know, it's more surrounding like medical, you know, reasons and so forth. So I would really like to see kind of that a little bit. I don't know what we need to do to be able to kind of expedite that ability, but to really get kind of to the root and be able to provide the right support at the school sites. Thank you so much, Ms. Grande.
Just a quick question. I wondered if you know, do our, at least in the elementary schools, do we have like programs in place to reward improved absences? For example, like an 80% club, and then at the end of the month, everybody who made that 80% attendance, they get something like a special lunch. They can bring the parent in or make a big to-do. Just wondered.
Yes, we have a variety of strategies and incentives. One of our biggest programs that we have, our initiative, is FOMO, fear of missing out. And so we do have pop-up where if people are at school that day, everybody gets a popsicle because they were in school that day. We do have competitions of our schools to see, you know, all of our schools are checking their attendance rates, and they're actually posting it outside of their schools so that the parents know, the kids know that what their target is and how far maybe they've missed it, so that there's that positive peer pressure that we need kids in school. In addition to that, we have provided schools with extra funding. We have color runs for fun if they're at school that day. We also have strategic days where we look to see where we have high attendance or low attendance rates or high absentee rates. So like maybe after a three-day holiday or after the Super Bowl, we do see trends around that. And so our schools have put programs in place where, you know, they have everybody that's at school that day, they get a healthy snack of popcorn if they're in school that day. So we want to be able to reward students in real time. We do know and realize that there are some students who, especially that are chronically absent, that have dug themselves so far that they're not attending. You know, 30 days is a long time for them. So we are doing gradual things. You know, you come to school for the whole day, utilizing check-in, check-out, being able to tell them, if you are here 3 days in a row, we're going to have a pizza party. So we do understand that it's not a one-size-fits-all. And our PYD team is just, they're really working hard to do these pop-ups with the mom mob, lots of different positive strategies. We're also looking for, as we're building that extrinsic motivation, the FOMO, you get something for doing something, we want to transition that within the next couple of years into JOMO, the joy of missing out. So when you're doing positive things, you feel good about yourself. You have our student board members who are really working hard because they feel good about the contribution that they're making. They feel that their voice matters. So we want kids to feel like when you don't come to school, you are missing out on valuable information. You are missing out on friendships. You're missing out on projects that you're going to have, you know, an experiment where, you know, they're going to blow something up in the classroom. You're going to miss out on that. And so that there's that genuine movement towards that motivation that comes from within because it's the right thing to do. We're not there yet, but that is part of our continuum of programming.
Thank you so much. Mr. Arellano?
Yes, thank you, President Ceballos. I just want to congratulate our Educational Services Department for great work. They are the epitome of my philosophy of that we exist to support the schools and not the other way around. And so I want to commend our Educational Services Department for being that service to our school sites. It's making a difference. Board, I want you to see that we've remained very committed and determined to the roadmap that we laid out when we first all came together. That it was important for us to focus on our preschool programs to make sure that we had as many kids as possible with early literacy, early numeracy experience, that we were focused on our third grade reading proficiency with comprehension. And you can see the work that we've been doing with our learning centers consistently across all of our elementary schools. We've been focused on making sure that our kids in 5th and 6th grade are able to tackle math complexity with a level of proficiency. In terms of reading, we identified that we had many kids in middle school who could not read. And so immediately we deployed reading specialist teachers at the middle school level so that we could teach kids how to read at the middle school for those of the kids that had gotten there without reading. We've been very focused on our 9th grade math success at the high school. We know that's an important benchmark in terms of graduation and success. And we've been focused on making sure that our kids are writing across the curriculum, not only just the mechanics of writing, but knowing the genres. So our commitment of not being distracted with other things, we've been committed and determined to make sure that we are meeting those goals, and you see that the trends are in the right direction. So I also want to thank our principals, our teachers, and importantly, our scholars who are responding to the work. So congratulations to everybody. It's a proud moment for all of us.
Okay, so give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to 9.2, first period interim financial report. And that I will turn over to Mr. Terry Komnick, Associate Superintendent of Business Facilities and Operations, and staff will present the first period interim financial report.
All right, well, good evening, President Ceballos, Vice President Grande, Superintendent Arellano, and esteemed Board of Trustees, our cabinet, and the community watching. My name is Terry Komnick with Business Services. I'm here with O.C. Coonrod, Fiscal Director, and Mr. Jim Cunningham, our Accounting Services Director, who all have contributed along with their team in tonight's presentation for our first interim. I'd like to start with a hearty, it is an honor to be in front of the board, a board who not only sees their fiduciary responsibility to our budget, but also sees, along with Superintendent Arellano, a vision to utilize these resources in a manner in which the data that was just presented starts to yield the fruit of our efforts collectively across this district. So a very big thank you to our board and superintendent for their leadership. Tonight's presentation, we'll discuss 3 areas. One, the state budget and fiscal outlook. Also want to share with the board an updated budget from budget development to first interim, and then considerations and next steps. So our budget certification, this first interim report, as you know, board, is our first official revision to the adopted budget that was done in June. It takes all expenditures and revenue updates from July 1 all the way through October 31st, and we are in a positive certification. The fiscal outlook. What I'd like to share with the board, and I commend the board for not only being present, but also being a participant in our recent CSBA conference up in Sacramento, where the legislative office shared a fiscal update regarding economic revenue and its outlook. Interestingly, here there was a downsizing of projections from our revenue in 26-27. They also mentioned the potential for a projected deficit of $18 billion and $35 billion in the out years with the state, although they did emphasize that this does not directly reduce Prop 98, but it might increase some state budget pressure on the Prop 98 funds that we receive. The Prop 98 funding is scheduled to receive quite a one-time funding bump of about $7.4 billion with a B dollars into 26-27, of which $5 billion could be used by the governor's discretion for one-time money or ongoing money, depending on how the governor sees fit in this January budget release coming up next month. Also, there's a $3.2 billion revenue stream that is slated to cover two things. One, the 2.51% COLA projected for 26-27, and also backfill the 2.3 COLA that 1.7 billion was used in one-time funding to make that an ongoing sustainable increase. The LAO does recommend that the governor consider the flexibility of these funds for the districts to use at their discretion, and particularly make whole again the Learning Recovery Block Grant that the previous budgets had taken away from to help stabilize budget shortfalls from the past. So we look forward to the January 10th budget release from the governor and see where we are heading into 26-27. Our assumptions didn't change from budget development to first interim, and this page here shows on the charts where we were with COLA at 2.3 for this year. Our enrollment, our funded ADA, and our unduplicated pupil percentage all stay status quo, as we do not have new formal information. What we have is projections for the 26-27 school year. When on the next slide, you'll see the 26-27, 27-28, so the next 2 years. Again, those numbers have not changed, although the LAO did express some new COLAs and some other funding adjustments. We do not account for those yet until they become formalized. What I would like to share with the board in 2 slides is the entire budget broken up into unrestricted and restricted. First, I'll show you the restricted side. And what I'd like to focus the board on is the red arrows going from the second column on the left to the right column, adopted budget to first interim. And particular interest for the board is the accuracy and the dollars as we demonstrated and adopted to as they show in first interim, the accuracy that we were projecting those to be both in revenue and in expenditures. I think this is critical information for the board to have and the public to have accurate information as they look at our budgets for transparency purposes, but also how we utilize our dollars to maximize our outcomes. One thing to note here is our expenditures as we go from this year to next. We are looking at, again, being strategic in how we spend our dollars, and also looking at reductions where appropriate and possible that don't affect those programs that are yielding those high score values that were presented prior to this presentation. Our ending fund balance does tick up about $500,000 from 49.7 to 50.1 in first interim. Now, the out year numbers that you see there, board, are subject to change, and as you recall, being at CSBA last week, that those numbers will surely change based on the governor's report and release of his preliminary budget in January. The next slide here is our restricted budgets. These restricted programs have strings attached, if you will, where they're categorical in effect, where we must spend them according to the program's focus. What you'll notice here in that second row is the revenue uptick, and basically 2 reasons there. One was the carryover from the prior year. The second reason that uptick is that we recognized some new one-time funding from the discretionary block grant, and also the uptick from our Learning Recovery block grant that was then added to our revenues. Expenditures will tick up a little bit also, as with restricted programs. If we put it in budget, we also have to have an offsetting expenditure to match that new revenue source. And then our ending fund balance does tick down just a smidgen on the restricted side. Considerations and next steps. Here I want to just advise the board and let the board know that we just finished our 4-year rebenching for our free and reduced price meal percentage. This funding source, this helps drive our funding source for our LCFF funding formula. And what we found is that we had a situation where a lot of our surveys were not returned following our normal procedures and protocols. We have reached out to the California Department of Education, and we are seeking their assistance and guidance, and should be updated later on this week on next steps. Our health and welfare potential increase of about 9.75%. We do have an enrollment decrease of about 1%, and looking at projected numbers today, that number might be a little less, to 0.5% in our enrollment. So that's a good sign of stabilizing our enrollment loss. Our CalPERS increases just a little bit from 26.8 to 27.4. As I mentioned earlier, we are actively addressing expenditure and cost to better align with our revenues. And then we are also looking to maximize our restricted dollars vis-a-vis our unrestricted dollars, where we can provide allowable cost items to help reduce those contributions into the restricted programs and help offset our unrestricted costs. As we look at next steps, we have the board presentation tonight for first interim, which will then go to the county for approval. I mentioned earlier the Governor Newsom's January budget proposal, January 10th, it'll be released. And then, of course, LCAP will come in and give us an update to the board regarding the progress so far in our 25-26 school year. With that, board, I thank you for the time. I thank you for your leadership, and both OC and I are here if there are any questions that we may address.
Thank you so much. Mr. Tillman?
Thank you, Terry and OC, for the report. I appreciate it. Great report. Just a question. I keep hearing the number 6,000 applications didn't get turned in. Does that mean that 39,000 did?
Well, what that means is last year we were about a little over 40,000. This year we had 34,815, something like that. So we're about 6,200 less than where we were last year, and the last 4 years for that matter. So our concern is, how did this happen? And then what can we do to be held harmless by working with the California Department of Ed?
But they gathered that data, right? Those 36,000 forms that are turned in. Wouldn't they be able to ascertain from those forms what the information on the missing forms?
Well, we have direct certification. So we have 63% of our population provides direct certification from other basic programs that they might be part of SNAP or those type of benefits. Those students and families are identified directly, so we know who those
so you don't need their forms.
Correct. Well, that is accurate, but everybody has to. When we do a rebench, we need to collect everybody's form so that we can account and get a new base number, if you will. Every fourth year is required.
I got you. So, but even with that, they still have a lot of information already.
Yes, sir.
So which means that they may lean towards saying we didn't get the forms, but we know we have enough information to determine that you guys should be getting that level of funding anyway.
Right, and if you go back to our last 4 years, 21-22 is our last base year, and it was at about 90.3%. But the subsequent each year after that to 24-25, we ticked up almost 3% on a gradual incline of increased UPP, or unduplicated pupil percentage. So clearly our numbers are going up, not down, when it comes to UPP. So I think we have a track record of the past 4 years that demonstrates that.
And I really think this discussion should start. They had those forms when I was a kid.
Yes, sir.
And it seems as though they haven't taken advantage of all the technology that has that offers other ways of getting that information. It's almost like they're relying on something that's an old, archaic system. You might want to bring it to attention in a nice way.
And we are doing that, sir, with the legislature through our contacts up in Sacramento. So we are working on exactly what you just said.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, I think we don't have any more questions or comments, so just thank you so much for your report. And yeah, we'll move on to our next section, 10.0 board discussion, possible action. 10.1, all about the Children's Day event. The board will discuss a possible sponsorship of the Maggie's Kids Foundation, all about the children, on January 17th, 2026. So I
do have a question.
You have a question, Ms. Medina? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make it on in case someone else has their light on.
No.
So I do have a question in regards to, let me lower my volume because I can't hear. So one of my questions is that, did we contribute? Because I know that we help support different events, and so, we also help with sponsorship at different events. And so I wanted to find out if we have supported them in the past.
In the past, like past years or this
Yes.
year? I believe so. Twice before? Yeah, Karen's sharing that at least twice before, and I believe last year we did as well.
Okay. And the reason why I'm asked is because I noticed that in their flyer, it says all proceeds will go towards college and scholarships and to support community events. And when you look at the flyer, it says they'll have free toys, giveaways, backpacks, clothes, and so forth. I'm wondering if a lot of those items are coming from other organizations that are providing those.
So what was the question? If a lot of those items are being provided by
Other organizations. I know several other organizations receives, free backpacks and they're able to provide extra support. So I'm wondering if.
I'm going to say yes, because I know of another organization specifically that we have supported, I think this year, that provides, community events or, backpacks and things like that. So I'm going to say yeah to that.
Okay, yeah, because again, it says all proceeds go towards college scholarships and to support community event. So if that's the case, I'd like to see what is that percentage? How much would we, if we contribute for it in the community event versus the actual scholarships?
Okay. Are those all your comments?
No, and then so I definitely would support the Children Are Our Future 1500 because I don't have the full story of what those percentages.
Okay. You said 1500?
1500.
Okay. Are those all your comments?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Tillman?
What did we give last year, Karen? And the year before that? Thank you.
Mrs. Alexander?
So I wanted to say that this is the same organization that supports Mom Mob, and Mom Mob is only at San Bernardino City Unified School District schools. It's not anywhere else at this time. So I don't know. I was just trying to answer. I believe Abigail had asked a question. So Mom Mob, I would actually, whatever we supported last time, you said 5,000. I would motion that we support at the same level we did last year. Is at San Andreas. Maggie's Foundation supports our students, but that's my motion.
Okay, so I was taking discussion before I took a motion. Is that the incorrect process?
You made a motion. If somebody seconds it, then
Well, Ms. Medina had brought up 1,500. So was that okay? Okay, so then that we would follow that. So there's a motion for 5,000. Are we seconding that? Do we have a second for that? Okay, so now we're continuing discussion. So there's a motion and a second. Dr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Madam President. And I know we've supported this in the past, but, you know, I took quite a beating last meeting when I brought up a proposal, and I'm looking at it, and I don't see the proposal documents here that explain anything about it. So, you know, my big thing is if we're going to follow protocol, we're not following protocol because the document's not here. It has no explanation about it. I know what it's all about. I know exactly what they do and what they do for our kids in our community. But if we are going to be consistent, then that document should be attached, and it is not. I recommend it comes back with the appropriate documents, then we can motion second and support it. But until then, we're being very inconsistent. Thank you.
So before I move on to Mr. Tillman and Mrs. Alexander, let me just ask Ms. Cunningham, was there a reason why that document was not attached?
That was my error. I assumed because we had done it last year that we didn't need to get the same flyers sponsorship form, so I didn't even ask. So that was on me. I didn't realize I needed to do it if we'd already done it in the past. So it was me.
Yeah, no, so we'll just correct that moving forward. It has to be so every single organization that comes before the board. And I think the previous organizations, even this year that we have sponsored, have provided a form, and we had already sponsored them in the past. But I'll turn it over to Mr. Tillman.
And actually, this just proves my point, what I've been saying the whole time, that you guys are trying to overly put too much structure into it. The bottom line is, the way it used to be, if it was a organization that a board member wanted to champion, they would explain why, what the organization does, who provides it to. We would vote on it. If it was something we did last year, everybody pretty much knew what they did, what they were about. In this case, this is Margaret Hill's old Maggie's whatever. We know that they use it to donate and help the kids in our district. I don't see why you wouldn't support it. So I don't really, even when you have the form, if someone doesn't champion it, then it's hard to get support for, and vice versa. When you have the form and the information on there is not what we say it was, but if a board member champions it, then we still can support it. So in this case, it's a perfect example. Like Ms. Cunningham said, she didn't bring it because she thought we had supported it before, and we would support it again. So I go along with supporting and would hope that we call for the question.
Ms. Alexander?
So in all respect, we did, as a policy committee, we gave the directive if this was someone we had sponsored in the past, they did not have to submit a formal request.
It's in the policy?
It was part of our discussion when we met as a policy committee.
That was my understanding of that conversation is it was a possibility, but the policy landed where the policy landed, and the policy landed where every organization would have to submit a form. That's my recollection of that conversation.
Yeah, and I don't recall that either as well.
Okay. All right. Well,
but that's okay. I mean, you know, we'll go back and we'll review the policy. And to, you know, Mr. Tillman's point, did you have any other comments?
that was the comment.
Okay. Okay, so I guess I'll make my portion of the comments. For me, it was really important to have some sort of policy for continuity, and I'll keep saying that. So although I understand your perspective, Mr. Tillman, and I respect it, I will personally, just for the public's sake, will be opting out completely and entirely of supporting any organization moving forward. So that will be, you know, kind of my stance, because I do want to know how the money is being utilized. Otherwise, for me, it becomes what is the legal term? A gift of public funds. So with that being said, we do have a motion, we do have a second. So I'll call for, if there's no other discussion or conversation, I'll call for the vote now.
I do agree with Dr. Wyatt, and is inconsistent, the board. And when I was referring to community events, it's just through the flyer itself. It shows that there's an event coming up on January the 17th. So I was referring to that. what those percentage of proceeds go to the event that other organizations support, and then how much would actually go to scholarships. But I'm ready to move for the vote as well.
Mrs. Alexander.
Problem. Karen, did we just receive this request? Is that why it's coming to us? Okay. I just needed clarification. Thank you.
It's been on the dock for a little bit. It's been a little while. So we'll call the vote. Ms. Medina.
Okay.
Motion carries. 11.0 action items. 11.1 personnel report.
As presented.
Thank you. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please.
Aye for Abigail Medina.
Sorry, thank you. Motion carries. 11.2 approval of the annual and 5-year reportable fees report for fiscal year 24-25.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Alexander, second by Mr. Tillman. Vote, please.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 11.3 district school police policies. The board will consider sending the district school police department policies to the policy subcommittee for review of existing policies and to consider potential modifications and or development of potential new policies. Do I have a motion?
I motion to move forward.
Second.
We have Ms. Medina and Mr. Santos. Do I have any comments, discussion? All right, can we vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 12.0 consent of items. 12.1 approval of consent items.
So moved.
I'm assuming we don't have any to pull. So moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. Vote, please.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 13.0 reports and comments by union organizations. 13.1 San Bernardino Teachers Association.
No report.
13.2 California School Employees Association.
No report.
13.3 Communication Workers of America.
No report.
And 13.4 San Bernardino School Police Officers Association.
No report.
Thank you. 14.0 mandated policy revisions. 14.1 adoption of board policy 3311.1 uniform public construction cost accounting procedures. Mr. Tillman?
I'm assuming because this says that is mandated policy changes, we have to make these changes and then changes in the law. Is that right, Terry?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. Vote, please. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.2, adoption of policy 3311, bids.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mrs. Alexander. Vote, please. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.3, adoption of board policy 1312.3, uniform complaint procedures.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Mrs. Alexander. Vote, please. Ms. Medina?
Aye.
Motion carries. 15.0, reports and comments. 15.1, board member comments. Do I have any volunteers? Thank you.
Okay. Well, I want to share with you, this past year, I've been very busy learning more about dual language learners and the curriculum that they must have at the La Cosecha conference in Albuquerque. And I was pleased to see many of our teachers, and I think even a couple of principals there, plus our DLAC parents, Romy and Maricela, and there were others. So we got to have a beautiful lunch together. It was so great to get to know them. And I'm really proud of our district and its Golden Bell that we were awarded. I was privileged to get to drive it home in our trunk of our car. Very golden ride all the way home, and it was very heavy, so I saved you money there. Today, I attended Eloise Reyes' second luncheon for ladies in our community dedicated to lifelong, lifting up others as we rise, we lifelong learners. And board member Felicia Alexander was also there. I was really happy to see. We brought our mentees, which are people, ladies that we look and then we see that we may help them in some manner. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. And this Saturday, I just want to mention, we have 29 students from the second cohort of SBC USD graduates for the Teen Mental Health First Aid program. And it's at 2 o'clock this Saturday at 1367 California Street, if any board members can attend. And to end, as another year comes to close, I just want to say thank you to our dedicated staff and teachers, our parents, and to our community for giving me the gift of serving you as a board member. And so I'm wishing you and all of my fellow board members a very Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Tillman, I'm assuming you want to go next?
I did. I just wanted to thank the group that put on the event to give away the bikes. You know the name of the organization? Yes. I forgot the name of it. Goodfellas. Yeah. I want to thank the Goodfellas, their president, Leto, the vice president, and then also Ben, who works in the district, who invited me. But it was just wonderful to see all our kids there, and they must have gave out over 100 bikes, and all of them were for for students from our district, Ingram and other elementary schools, and just to see the kids light up and be so happy, it was a beautiful event. So I want to commend the good fellow. A lot of them grew up in San Bernardino. A lot of them on the west side of San Bernardino went to San Bernardino High School. Some of them went to Sturgis Middle School, which is in this location we're at right now. My brother, this used to be a middle school, and my brother actually went here when it was Sturgis. But a lot of them went to our local schools, and I want to commend them for working with the different biker organizations and lowrider organizations to donate the money and give our kids bikes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Madam President. And, I have a few here, but I was looking back on our board meeting. So I don't know if I talked about this yet or we had a long break, but you know, I was very fortunate, my wife and I, to go see Terrible Terry Washington fight for the WBC championship. And I don't know what weight class he's in. He's in the super featherweight light class. But he went to a perfect 6-0. Fought a very, very veteran fighter. This guy had like 30-something fights, and it was a tough fight for him, I'll tell you that. But he went, I think it was 10-0, won all 10 rounds, and you know, he fought a skilled fight. But you know, just a really proud moment. And you know, I was out in the crowd, and it's cool. They're like, well, he's from San Bernardino, so we're cheering for him. They might not even knew who he was, but they just loved that he was from our area. So, you know, he's another one of these young men, you know, like so many of our young men and young women, that's put our city on the map, you know, and done so in just an amazing way. So congratulations to Terry and Project Fighting Chance and everything they're doing over there with our young men and young women. But it was definitely an honor and privilege to watch him, and got to see one of my childhood heroes too. Didn't get to shake his hand or meet him, but Manny Pacquiao was there, and his coach too. And he fought for Pacquiao, whatever you call them, the industries. At Pechanga. Sold out crowd too. Sold out crowd. I mean, it was a packed venue. Tickets weren't cheap, so he's starting to get up there, man. But
WBC title?
WBC title. Now he has 2 belts.
He's a WBC champion?
WBC champ.
What weight?
I know it's light. Probably like 117 or somewhere around there. But yeah, but no, he fought a heck of a good fighter. This guy was he fought a champ to win the championship belt. So great fight, Terry. Love seeing you. Couple just things go through. I want to say thank you to Chic Shoes and Young Visionaries. This past weekend had a wonderful Winter Wonderland. Toy giveaway, a couple thousand kids there, and just amazing event. And then also went to the San Mario Symphony this past weekend. I know some of my colleagues were there, and they had their student orchestra that performed, and a lot of those kids are right here from San Bernardino. And man, I was it's kind of interesting to see them play. And I took a bunch of videos because they were just absolutely amazing. Playing right there with the adults. You couldn't tell who was adults and who were the students. And again, just amazing kids right here in San Bernardino. And then, I want to say an early congratulations, but I want to heck some of you, the Cajon mock trial. If you didn't know, they went 4-0 in the early rounds. And so they're going to the semifinals here, and can't wait to go see them. Hopefully bring home another title to our district. And then I just want to end again by saying congratulations to Chief Polino. Thank you. Can't say enough. A man of honor, absolutely integrity. And it's been an absolute honor working with you, but even more so having you as a friend and colleague. So wish you the very best in retirement. Many blessings to you and the family. I know you're going to enjoy it. I look forward to seeing you outside of work and having a good time. So, and like my colleague next to me, Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. May you have a prosperous and a healthy new year and filled with lots of joy and love. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Santos.
Well, thank you. First I want to congratulate Mr. Polino. I haven't known you long, but congratulations. And then I want to say, timing is everything, even though we just finished a wonderful spirited conversation a few minutes ago. I'm really proud to be a part of this board. It's my first year, right? So I just want to thank everyone on the board, superintendent, cabinet, for welcoming me. I think this is a great team to be a part of. For cabinet, every time I ask questions, they're always more than willing to answer. And I know I ask a lot of questions, but I'm learning. So again, this has been a great year, and I'm proud to be a part of this board, proud as a parent to see our school district shining, and hope to be a part of this. And as the year goes along, and just want to wish everyone happy holidays for whatever you celebrate. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. Mrs. Alexander?
Thank you. I would like to just first start off and say congratulations, Chief. We'll miss you. You're a great leader. Really appreciate the opportunity to work alongside you, and thank you for all the good work you've done for us, and best of luck to you as you enter into retirement. A couple updates. Wanted to provide an update and also just a thank you, a gratitude. Our San Bernardino Turkey Trot was a success. We had over 1,100 runners that registered, 900 showed up plus. However, I wanted to give a special shout out to our team of volunteers that came out, particularly the ones within our district, Miss and Mr. Cartnell. They were there in full effect, even had some parents that came out to support and make sure that they were doing right and they were engaging. The Explorers, Officer Daniel Martinez brought the Explorers, and they were very engaged and excited, and it was a windy day. I don't know, some of you probably attended Cal State San Bernardino, know how windy it gets. And Thanksgiving, it was pretty hectic, but all in all, it was great. We had runners from Middle College High School and then several middle schools as well as elementary schools. I just don't know the names of them because they did not register under their names. They registered them under their running teams. But Middle College High School has been with us since day one, and they also fundraise on our on our website for the race. So looking forward to issuing them their check this week. And then also, as Mary Ellen mentioned, I attended Senator Eloise Reyes' mentorship event. It was excellent. It was a packed house, and it was just awesome to be around so many great ladies. I also attended the symphony, and I wanted to put out there recognition and congratulations to the incoming officers. So Sonyetta Brown is the incoming president, and my husband, Damon Alexander, is the president-elect. So great job. And what's critical about just the symphony in general, and Dr. Scott White is a board member. So what's critically important about the symphony is that they're one of our partners, and whenever our students come in and they're getting recognition for being on the honor roll, they're receiving a ticket to attend the symphony as well. So not only do they perform, we also make sure that we reach out to the community and they're able to attend the symphony events when they happen. We also attended Miracle on Court Street. If you haven't gone out there yet, you need to go out there. I know Riverside is a highlight, but we have our own highlight here in San Bernardino too. Miracle on Court Street is really nice, and it's an extremely enriching community activity. Just get out there and just enjoy yourselves. They have an ice skating rink and a lot of arts and crafts for families, and then I know that they have entertainment that revolves. And I believe the last day is probably right before Christmas, if not on Christmas. And then a couple other things. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Arellano, on getting your award from Delta Road chapter of Phi Delta Kappa Incorporated. I was also able to attend that. I know Michael was there as well. And we're just super proud of you and the great speech that you gave. So congratulations. And then lastly, I know that there was a lot of commentary around AI. I'm not afraid of it. my husband and I are going to a session, executive roundtable this week. Danny, you're welcome to join us because I know you just don't like the idea of it, but it might be informative. And anybody else. So I'll forward you the invitation. But I mean, AI is not going away. I just know it's just odd in some spaces, and it's just something for us to learn more about. So whenever I see an opportunity, especially when it's free, I try to take advantage of it. And that's it. Thank you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you. Ms. Medina?
Yes, thank you. And I do want to recognize that we were, well, I would participate our district, I was representing our district in the 48th annual Children's Christmas parade in San Bernardino. A lot of people, a lot of fun. It was exciting. Getting to see, there was Excel that had their own vehicles as well, several district school sites that had cheerleaders, their band, and all these different school district activities. It was amazing. So I wanted to say thank you to those that organized the parade. I also want to, of course, with Chief, we're definitely going to miss you. You have been a great friend and just someone that, brought insight to things that might not necessarily see. And when it comes to, policing, and I always appreciate thank you so much. And we'll definitely be missing you. And want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and Happy Kwanzaa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just really quickly, also kind of reiterate what's already been said, Ms. Applegate and your team. Congratulations once again on your Golden Bell Award over at CSBA. Chief, congratulations. We're definitely going to miss you. Mr. Santos, it has been a pleasure having you on our board. So, we'll look forward to the next few years. And then just lastly, happy holidays, whatever it is you celebrate out there. The most important part is, being surrounded by loved ones and just being present and taking some time to actually relax if you're able to take some time off. But anyway, happy holidays out there, and I will pass it on to Mr. Arellano.
Thank you very much. Well, I too want to begin by once again congratulating Chief Paulino on his retirement and to once again honor his great impact to the city of San Bernardino, to the school district, and really all across the nation. Chief, it was a great honor to be able to watch you last night receive the accolades that you deserve. It was a great moment. So we're going to miss you, sir. But job well done, sir. Very well done. And David, to your communications team who put the event together, very classy, sir. Thank you. Every detail, not one detail was missed. Very nice job. So thank you for making our district shine and Chief Paulino shine. He's very deserving of that. Well, I just want to end the year by sharing some continued great news about our great school district. So that is the picture that we took as a group when we earned the Seal of Biliteracy at the CSBA conference. We are a serious institution of academics, and we are only becoming stronger. And so I want to congratulate everyone across the district for this Golden Bell. This past year, you may recall that we had over 700 high school seniors that earned a Seal of Biliteracy. That was the highest by far in both San Bernardino and Riverside counties. And on top of that, we've come a long way. Just several years ago, we only had 300 kids that were earning the Seal of Biliteracy. So in a short time, we've doubled that amount. So great job to our multilingual department, great job to our Ed Services department, our principals, our teachers, and our kids. Very proud. Next slide. And there's more than just one superstar in the Paulino home. So I had to make sure that we got Elsie out there. Elsie was recognized by State Senator Eloise Gomez-Reyes as one of the 2025 Veteran of the Year honorees. So we extend our congratulations to Elsie, and we're very proud of her as well. And we also want to thank her for sacrificing you for us, Chief. I know all of us that sit on this dais, our family sacrificed a lot for the work that we do. So we love Elsie as we love you. So congratulations to Miss Paulino. We're very proud of her. Next slide. And it was very nice to get an opportunity to speak at the Making Hope Happen Scholarship Breakfast. It actually was, we had a really good time. It was great to hear what Making Hope Happen Foundation continues to do for our district in terms of scholarship offerings. And it was great to hear about the mentoring they do for a lot of our kids who graduate from our system, and they have a support system so that they're successful in college. And then the highlight was hearing Dr. Walker's story. just about the grit of our students here. And he just took us back talking about Waterman Gardens and driving up Baseline and Delman Heights. But anyway, it was a great testament to our district, and I had the opportunity to share some of the successes that we've had, and it was very well received by our community that was there present. So I want to thank Nikki Detman for continuing to be a champion not only for our kids but for our school district. Next slide. This is one that I think I'm most proud of this year in terms of the evolution, in terms of working towards becoming even a more inclusive, excellent school district. So what you see here is our SBCUSD students competing in the Unified Special Olympics flag football tournament at University of California, Riverside. And this is great. If you know, we've been putting a lot of effort in putting together our Unified Special Olympics programs, where we've gone from competitions within our schools here in the district to now branching out and having competitions with schools from outside of our district. So I want to thank Scott Smith, Special Education, Dr. Ryan Rubio, and everyone involved who is really putting this effort to make sure that all of our kids have the experiences that are afforded to them in the public education system. So I just love this picture of Scott Smith and the kids behind him. And inclusive excellence is who we are here in the San Bernardino City Unified School District. Next slide. And a big shout out to Del Vallejo Middle School and Principal Jackie Maynor, who through their hard work these last several years under her leadership and with the support of Educational Services and all of her teachers and parents and students, they earned the Schools to Watch designation officially last week. So we're very proud of the work that Principal Maynor has done to put another one of our schools on the map. And it's great to see outside agencies and outside people seeing the progress that our schools are making. So Jackie, congratulations to you and your staff, and thank you for your leadership. You are definitely making our district shine. Next slide. And you know, one of the items that I'm very proud of as well as being part of this district is everyone has made an investment in trying to make their staff better. I'm going to use Chief as an example. He was very dedicated during his leadership as Chief of Police of trying to motivate his police force to earn bachelor's degrees, to earn master's degree, to attend the FBI academies, to attend leadership academies, with the thinking being the more knowledge you have, the better you'll be able to react in your job, right, and be better at your job. And so we have made quite a commitment to having many of our teachers become nationally board certified, which is a very rigorous program. And each year we have teachers that complete the program. So very proud that the epicenter of national board certification is right here in the San Bernardino City Unified School District. But we now have 5 more teachers who have taken that extra step to become national board certified. So I want to congratulate Ms. Toulouse, Ms. Baragoni, Ms. Camacho, Mr. Kors, and Ms. Holm for being our most recent recipients of national board certification. Great job, guys, making the district shine. Appreciate that. Next slide. And I know it was mentioned today, but I wanted to highlight our student board members. What a delight this group is. And it was just so awesome to be able to talk to them right before they got on the airplane here in the lobby to get to the airport, or right before they got on the van to go down to the air. Some of these kids had never been on an airplane. So they were just pale white with nerves and very quiet. And, you know, this is a very talkative group, so I knew they were nervous. But it was wonderful to see them be able to access the floor of the state capitol. So I want to thank James Ramos for that opportunity. I know Sandra and Michelle, you provided these kids opportunities that maybe they would not ordinarily have. Being able to, I think they went to a French restaurant, had some fine dining. They had an opportunity to be part of the CSBA conference, get to meet other people. Can't tell you how many board members from other districts approached me while I was there, complimenting me and us on our kids because they had an opportunity to interact with them. So we're very proud of our student board members. And Sandra and Michelle, thank you for giving them that experience. It's a great experience. Next slide. And then some more kudos to provide. Kimbark Elementary has now been designated as an AVID Showcase School. That is a very difficult distinction to earn. And so I wanted to congratulate everyone at Kimbark Elementary. I know it started under Eurycity Fitz when she was the principal there, and now Brittany Zuniga, who is the new principal there, will carry on. But what that entails is now schools from all over the state who are wanting to become a avid distinction school will come to Kimbark to observe the program implementation, how they do work, how they prepare the kids and the parents and the staff. So another great example of great things happening right here in the San Bernardino City Unified School District. Next slide. And if that wasn't enough, I had the opportunity to brag to a pretty important group of people. This is the Inland Action Group. Many folks here are big business owners or they're involved in big organizations. They meet on a monthly basis. I get invited every year to talk a lot about the progress of the district. So I was able to share a lot what Mrs. Applegate shared here today. And I think one of the best compliments they provided me that morning when we were done, other than taking the pictures with the funny yellow glasses, right? That's become our trademark. Was they applauded us for being honest with our data, identifying those things that we are working well in, but also being transparent and talking about the areas that we still need to work on. So they have a high level of trust in this leadership here, a high level of trust in this district, and they really, really see our district moving forward. You see Chelsea Ramirez there on the right-hand side. She's our coordinator of CTE. She did a great job talking about all of the internship programs that we have for our students. Inland Action was very surprised to hear the work that we've done in a short amount of time of trying to connect our kids with micro internships and internships in the real world. So Inland Action was very proud, and they're definitely a big support of our district. Next slide. And as Board Member Alexander mentioned, I was honored to be part of the Phi Delta Kappa recognition this Saturday. But I think what was more important for me was being able to be in the same space with two people that we know, that we respect out in the community and education world, Dr. Bowman and Pastor Casey. So to be in the same space with those two people was a good moment for me. But it's also always great to hear the great perception that people have of our school district. And so thank you for your support that day, Board Member Alexander, Mr. Santos. I don't know if I'm forgetting somebody, I apologize, but it's nice to be able to shine a light on the district. Next slide. And I want to give a shout out to Kamani Winnington, first place in the Damien High School Wrestling Classic. So if you know about high school wrestling tournaments, this is one of the biggies. And so this young man won first place from Pacific High School. So another bright shining light on the district. So Kimani, congratulations, sir. We're very proud of you. And I love this picture. It's a great picture. First place then. Next slide. And I just want to wish everyone a great holiday season. I want to thank all of our scholars for working hard this first semester. We're very proud of you. And I want to thank all of our principals, teachers, support staff, police, interpreters, everyone in the district that makes our district move forward and shine, and wishing you guys all a happy holidays and a restful break. That's all I have today.
Thank you so much. Moving on to 16.0, summary of board members' requests. 16.1, a review of requests.
Good evening, Board. Tonight I'm reporting on behalf of Katrin Ballentag. The first request was from Mrs. Alexander, and she requested information on the metrics that are used to determine the college and career growth. And the second request was from Ms. Ceballos, piggybacking on a request from Ms. Alexander, requesting data and a root cause analysis of what is causing the chronic absenteeism. And that is all I have.
Thank you. 17.0, meeting adjournment, but before that, 17.1 in memoriam. The board would like to recognize and close the board meeting with a moment of silence in memory of district employees Sandra Sasaman, who passed away on November 4, 2025, and Jackie Buffington, who passed away on November 25th, 2025. Ms. Sasaman served as a dedicated educator for 16 years. She began her career with the district in January of 2009 at Newmark Elementary School, where she served until 2013 and then joined North Verdemont Elementary School, becoming a valued and trusted member of the school community. During her years at North Verdemont, Ms. Sasaman made a lasting impact both as a classroom teacher and a teacher on special assignment. Most recently, she supported students in the Learning Center, providing targeted reading and math intervention. Her professionalism, dedication, and attention to detail reflected her commitment to doing what was best for children. Her legacy of care, service, and excellence will continue to be felt by the students and staff who lives she so deeply touched. By the lives who she deeply touched. Ms. Buffington began her career with the district in 2012 as one of the founding members of Norton Elementary School and faithfully served its children, families, and staff for 13 years as a recreational aide. During her tenure, she touched the lives of countless scholars and provided invaluable support to the Sunrise CAPS and after-school CAPS programs. Ms. Buffington's love, dedication, and unwavering commitment are woven into the very fabric of the Norton community, and her contributions will be remembered for years to come. On behalf of the scholars, families, and staff of Norton Elementary, they extend their deepest gratitude for her exceptional service. Ms. Sasaman and Ms. Buffington will be remembered with appreciation and respect, and the board extends our deepest sympathies to their families, co-workers, and friends. We will now hold a moment of silence in their honor. Seven. 17.2, meeting adjournment.
Adjourn.
Can I get a second? Motion by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Santos. Meeting adjourned.